final game. It's All Hallows Eve, and we saw that wonderful introduction that Brad put together that went through all of ours. And I tell you what, I didn't think I'd be scared this Halloween until I saw that picture of me pop up there. Aaron Harvey, James Gibson along with you. This is Midway hosting Oliver Springs. Possible playoff scenario going on tonight with Midway. They win this one, they get a home game. They lose this one, they go on the road. So we'll talk a lot about that in just a moment. But first off, I want to tell you that we are brought to you by OEB Law. OEB is an East Tennessee law firm with a national practice. OEB's led by Timothy G. Elrod, who is from and still calls Anderson County his home. OEB's practiced in state, federal, and city courts. At OEB, they treat their clients like family and are proud to have earned a reputation as East Tennessee's premier personal injury law office. And that's why they've been voted Best of Knoxville for the past 3 years. OEB Law is essential to us being on the air. I know essential takes on a different term this year in a pandemic world, huh?
Oh, it totally does.
But OEB Law is essential to us, and we thank them for allowing us to come here and talk to you on television and allow you to see a football game and allow us to see a football game. So, Week 11.
Wow.
My goodness. I'll be honest, I didn't think that we would get here.
I didn't either.
I really didn't. I thought it'd be canceled by now, but you know, it's not been perfect, but it's been high school football, and you really can't ask for much more than that.
No, we needed football to happen in 2020, if nothing more than a distraction from some of the horrors of our world and the current political environment. So thank goodness for high school football.
That's right. Halloween, everybody dresses up. It's scary. It's supposed to be scary. You go to haunted forest and things like that, but we just look at a presidential election and say, that's enough. You don't need any haunted houses.
Well, we say that now, but we are south of the river, so it's untelling what we might see tonight.
That's true. We are in the Emerald Forest, also known as Midway, and this is where the Green Wave has had one heck of a season, and a win tonight would really put a stamp on the positive direction of this program. Yeah,
Midway is looking for their seventh win season in the last 19 years, and I like their chances with the likes of Emmett Heglin, who has thrown for over 2,137 yards, 27 touchdowns, and he's ran in another 7 for a total of 34 touchdowns. Aaron, that's impressive. He's one heck of an athlete, and his favorite target is Caleb Goodman. He's got over 752 receiving yards with 9 touchdowns on the season, and Jackson Snow, who also has 586 yards receiving and 10 touchdowns. They got some talent.
And we've seen Hagelin this year, a heck of a football player. Look forward to seeing what he can do tonight against Oliver Springs. And, we've got so much to talk about, though, with a bunch of playoff scenarios. And so we'll get into that and more. And then, of course, we're going to see a great football game tonight here in the cold. It's already approaching the high 40s. Tonight as we speak right here, and I didn't wear long sleeves or a jacket, so you might hear me sniffling a little bit later when we get into this broadcast. But anyway, I'm looking forward to bringing you this final broadcast of the year right here on BBB TV Channel 12, brought to you by OEB Law. And we're going to try to go out with a bang. I hope we do. It should be a good football game tonight. So tell you what, we're going to go ahead and take a break. And when we get back, we'll go over some of those playoff scenarios on your OEB Law Game of the Week.
OEB Law is excited to be a part of this year's football season. School spirit is at an all-time high. OEB Law is proud to give back and support our community. Come cheer on these great teams with us. And remember, if you've been injured or need legal help, OEB Law will be there for you. So visit wreckintoacheck.com or give us a call, 865-546-1111, and let OEB Law turn your wreck into a check.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Here is Helen Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Walker.
A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low prices.
Race on down!
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the hot water wars. A Rinnai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Rinnai, hot water for all.
You won this year's chili cook-off. Our girls played in the softball finals last spring. You're not just another policyholder to us. We remember your name. Hi, Cheryl.
He remembered my name.
Because it's your name. That's simple human sense.
Ask Griffin Insurance Agency in Kingston if auto owners make sense for you.
Jeff, Mary, Dan, Sarah.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
And welcome back into your OEB Law Game of the Week. You see one of the observers there going back and forth trying to stay warm because it is that kind of night here tonight south of the river. We are at Midway. Oliver Springs is down for a Region 2 Single A matchup. And I'm just going to get into this because there is a lot to talk about. You hope this late in the season that you're playing for something of importance, and we do see that across the state tonight. Our wonderful producer, BBB TV Channel 12 owner Brad Jones, took the time to gather playoff scenarios for teams in our viewing area. So I didn't even have to do it, and I don't think I can tell you that little tidbit of information without also mentioning that former BBB TV 12 contributor Marty Maston was always a big part of this time of year, figuring out playoff scenarios with Brad for the station and viewers. Marty would have been 47 yesterday. And I know he was well-loved to a lot of folks in the local area. You would have seen him officiating basketball games or hosting the Friday Night Scoreboard show or generally just being involved in the community. So let's dedicate this segment to Marty. So here we go. Region 1, 1A. Well, first off, let's go over these tiebreakers. Standings are determined by the number of region wins, not by the region win percentage. The first tiebreaker would be overall wins, not overall win percentage. At each step, you look to see if there was a head-to-head win. Region COVID wins count in this process. The remaining tiebreakers would then apply, and that's important. So here are the tiebreakers. A team with the greatest number of wins, a team with the greatest number of teams who win 50% of their games, team with the greatest number of victories over teams winning 50% or more of their games, team whose opponents have earned the most victories, teams whose opponents have received fewer defeats, and then a coin flip. So,
let's hope we don't get to the coin flip.
Yeah, I hope we don't. Okay, so here we go. Region 1 scenario. This one is very straightforward. No ties at all. You don't have to go head-to-head. And Hancock County is going to enter the playoffs with a 0-8 record.
You know, I hate seeing that, but I've got another thing. When was the last time you've seen anybody win Region 1 other than Cloudland?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
And Cloudland is pretty tough this year. It's Cloudland and everybody else in that region. So Region 2, we saw this championship game last week as Coalfield defeated Oliver Springs. Coalfield gets that 1 seed. And Oliver Springs right now sitting in that second spot. They will have that second spot if they can win tonight. Greenback is watching this game carefully. Greenback's got Oakdale. They will probably be pretty favored to win against Oakdale. So, I mean, you don't want to write that in because that's why they play the game. But so here's the scenario for Midway, though. If they win this game tonight, Midway could finish second. And if Midway loses this game tonight, they'll be fourth.
A lot of stakes on the line. You know, Midway would love to have a home game in the playoffs. That would be major for this program, as I can't imagine. I don't know when the last time that happened.
Yeah, it's interesting. Midway cannot finish third. They can't. You're either going to be second or you're going to be fourth. So, and we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. The Region 1 scenario for 2A, South Green will be the 1 seed if they win. Hampton will be the second, the 2 seed if they win, and then Happy Valley. Here's the scenario for them: if they win and Hampton wins, there's a 3-way tie. If Happy Valley wins and Hampton loses, Happy Valley will be the 1 seed. Listen, okay, there's a lot going on right there. You see it on your screen, so we'll be able to look into more of that once we see some final scores rolling in. But it's
a lot of possibilities.
It's great that this is week 11. It's the final week of the regular season, and you've got that many possibilities. You do know the 4 teams, though, so that's good. The Region 2 scenario here, and this is all set in stone now. Meigs County, they won the region. They went 3-0. Rockwood by way of defeating Oneida. Yeah, okay, so, that's set in stone. Rockwood is going to be the 2 seed. Oneida is going to be the 3 seed, and Cumberland Gap is going to be the 4 seed, so got that figured out. Region 1 and 3A, Claiborne with a win, they are the 1 seed. Chucky Doak with a win, they are the 2 seed. Unless Claiborne loses, then they will be the 1 seed. Johnson County, you see there, if all 3 teams win, 3-way tie, they'll be 1. It will be, I'm sorry, Claiborne 1, Chucky Doak 2, Johnson County 3, but if Johnson County wins and the top 2 loses, Johnson County will be 1. Yeah, so this one still has a lot to go to.
But still impressive that Claiborne County comes in with the number 1 seed there.
Yeah.
Long time coming.
Region 2, we know Alco is going to win that. Gallenberg-Pittman and Kingston, a huge game tonight, playing each other. The winner of that one is going to get the 2 seed, and the loser is going to be the 3 seed. And Pigeon Forge and Sky High are playing basically a play-in game tonight. The winner of that one is going to be the 4 seed. So
big game for the Scott County Highlanders.
Yeah. Region 1 4A, Elizabethton is your winner. And then you've got Greenville. They are going to be your number 2 seed. Sullivan South is going to be the 3 seed. But Granger is still hanging on there. They'll be 4th if they win. But if they lose and Sullivan Central pulls a huge upset, then Sullivan Central would be the 4 seed. Yeah. Yeah, as it says, that would be a major upset. 4A, Region 2. Anderson County's the winner. They're the number 1 seed. Howard, if they beat East Hamilton, they'll be the 2 seed. Otherwise, they're going to be the 3, and vice versa for East Hamilton. And then East Ridge and Hickson down there, you see what they're going through. If East Ridge wins, they'll be a 4 seed and Hickson's out. If Hickson wins, they'll be a 4 seed and East Ridge will be out of the playoffs. Region 1 5A, David Crockett, they're the 1 seed, even with a loss to Morristown East tonight. Tennessee High is your 2 seed, and Daniel Boone can get the 3 seed with a win over Cherokee, but Morristown East will be a 4 seed. If they beat David Crockett and if Daniel Boone loses, that would make Morristown East 3 and Daniel Boone 4. If both teams win, Daniel Boone will be 3 due to the head-to-head win. So, Region 2, South Doyle is the 1 seed with a Central loss, okay? Central will be the 1 seed with a win over Gibbs tonight, and they hold the head-to-head tiebreaker with South Doyle, so that's how that would work. A win for Halls makes them 3 seed unless Central loses to Gibbs. Then Hall will be the 2 seed. Can you imagine that? Halls has a chance to be the 2 seed tonight.
With all the games they missed.
If Gibbs can pull off a pretty big upset tonight, defeating Central. And the 3 seed, if Carter beats Sevier County, they'll be the 4 seed. So look at that. Yeah, Knox, Carter, Sevier County, Gibbs all sitting there at 2 and 3 in the region. So that's why that one is so crazy. So Region 3, 5A, Knox West has run the gauntlet. They get that number 1 seed. And how about Oak Ridge pulling off that 2 seed? They get the home game at Blankenship Field. Powell slipped to that 3 seed, and Fulton gets in as a 4 seed after starting the season, 0-3?
Yeah, you just can't say enough about Oak Ridge. They've been up and down all season long, but there at the end, they really started playing their best football.
Yeah, Region 4, and we care about this because this affects your Oak Ridges and your Powells. So Ray County's 3-0. They're the number 1 seed. Walker Valley is the 2 seed if they beat Saudi Daisy. Otherwise, they're the 3 seed, and then Saudi Daisy is vice versa. And then Lenoir City coming in winless in the region is the 4 seed. So based on that, you know that Oak Ridge is playing Saudi Daisy at Blankenship Field next week. Region 1 6A, Dobbins-Bennett. This one is completely nuts because you could end up with, because Alcoa beat Dobbins-Bennett last night, you could end up with a 3-way tie if Science Hill wins tonight and Farragut wins tonight. Because of that, you go to records, which eliminates Farragut and makes them the 3 seed. And then you look at Dobbins-Bennett and Science Hill, the head-to-head, and Dobbins-Bennett wins that head-to-head. So there's a lot of things to look at tonight in Region 1 6A. In Region 2 6A, Maryville's the number 1 seed. They're undefeated on the year overall. McMinn County coming in at 4-1.
I'm telling you, what a turnaround McMinn County's got.
Yeah, and McMinn County they hung with Maryville in the first half of that game when they played. Bradley. Okay, so McMinn County is going to be the 2 seed with a win over Bradley Central, but a loss will make them the 3 seed, and then Bradley Central vice versa. Ottawa. With a win over Cleveland, they'll be the 4 seeds. They'll be the 4th seed, but a loss would eliminate them, and with Cleveland, vice versa. So teams playing directly for seeding tonight.
Yeah, tonight's a big night all across the state of Tennessee.
Yeah. And so those are your playoff scenarios for the teams that we've been talking about all year long. A lot on the line, and we'll be scoreboard watching tonight as much as we can because we'll be, this is going to be an exciting game tonight.
Oh, yeah, to say the least. It's a really favorable matchup with both teams. Midway loves throwing the football. Auburn Springs loves running the football.
Yeah.
So it's untelling what we're going to see tonight. But I know one thing we're going to see, and that's a good football game.
I agree. It will be a good football game, and we'll talk about that good football game when we get back. You are tuned in right now to your OEB Law Game of the Week.
OEB Law is excited to be a part of this year's football season. School all-time high. OEB Law is proud to give back and support our community. Come cheer on these great teams with us. And remember, if you've been injured or need legal help, OEB Law will be there for you. So visit recintoacheck.com or give us a call, 865-546-1111, and let OEB Law turn your wreck into a check.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Here is Helen Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low prices.
Race on down!
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
You won this year's chili cook-off. Our girls played in the softball finals last spring. You're not just another policyholder to us. We remember your name. Hi, Cheryl.
He remembered my name.
Because it's your name. That's simple human sense.
Ask Griffin Insurance Agency in Kingston if auto owners make sense for you.
Jeff, Mary, Dan, Sarah.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
And welcome back into your OEB Law Game of the Week as we get ready for our national anthem. Midway High School Marching Band. Wonderful performance of our national anthem, and you know what? I'm bummed out. That's the last time I'm gonna hear that on a football field for the rest of the year.
Wow, yeah, you're right.
So anyway, once you hear that national anthem, you know that it's about time to boogie. So let's talk about this football game, and we've already talked about it. But Midway's got 2 good reasons to win this game tonight. The first is it could catapult the Green Wave into a 2 seed. In fact, it would. The second being, well, that's a home game next week. Oliver Springs coming off a tough defeat to Coalfield. Midway got drummed by Greenback last week. Who's matter and ready to prove something tonight?
Well, Midway was really looking to upset Greenback, to be honest with you. They thought their chances was pretty good. They thought they were in a good position to achieve that, but was beaten handedly. So I think Midway is a little more upset over last week's game, but that's old news. And the new focus is all on this Oliver Springs football team. Oliver Springs played in a very hard-fought game last week. They came down to the wire in a loss to their arch-rival Coalfield. So both teams are hungry for this victory tonight.
The scenarios give this game a bunch of meaning. Midway knows it's either a 2 seed with a home game or a 4 seed making a long trip up northeast to take on a tough Cloudland team. This is go time. It's easy, or I want to ask, actually, is it easy to turn off that pressure of knowing what's on the line? And do you think this Midway team is capable of that?
Well, as a coach, you preach 1 week at a time, 1 game at a time, right? You focus on the next challenge ahead of you. And this Midway bunch is totally focused only on this Oliver Springs football team. But with that being said, I guarantee you these coaches and these administrators and these fans have discussed the importance of a home game in the playoffs. This 2020 Midway football team is totally capable of beating this Oliver Springs team, but it's going to be a fight until the end because Oliver Springs plays tough defense and is really playing their best football right now. Midway getting a win and getting that home playoff game would be huge for this small community south of the river.
Let me ask you this. This right here, is this football weather to you?
Oh, this is football weather.
This is football weather.
This is Lyman weather.
In the 40s. Okay, this is football weather. Okay, so and we are. It's in the high 40s right now. I mean, the sun has gone down. There is no source for heat other than, we've got this little heater under our feet.
If you look at the screen there, you notice a lot of these big guys, they ain't wearing sleeves. They ain't wearing them long socks. That's the skill guys. That's them wide receivers, the ones that need a little more meat on their body. They're the ones
right.
They're the ones a little chilly.
Thank you for pointing that out. That's pretty funny. Didn't even see it. You could point it out right there. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I had no idea that was even one of the things. But football, it's a really unique sport because the weather changes so dramatically right in the middle of the season. And it's played outside, so you have to battle the elements. And sometimes battling the elements is about acclimation, but none of these players are going to be acclimated. So talk to me. What's the preparation like for the rapid change in weather?
Well, normally one of the best ways to alleviate the shock from frigid temperatures on game day is to, assimilate with cold beforehand. Practicing in cold temperatures prior to game day allows your body and your mind to become familiar with the feeling of working hard when the weather isn't ideal. Both the mental and physical aspects are equally important, but the mental aspect might be the more difficult of the two. By exposing your players to circumstances similar to those you'll experience on game day, you get a much better idea of what to expect from your team when the day comes. Unfortunately, with the sudden drop of temperature as of tonight, these teams didn't have much of an opportunity to assimilate to the cold, so that may play a major factor in today's game.
Yeah, so both of these teams are playoff bound, so at least they get one game in these temperatures because it gets really cold in the playoffs. So Oliver Springs has won the toss. They will defer to the second half, and so we know what's going to happen. I got to ask you now, like I do every single week, what are the keys for both of these teams?
Well, Midway has got to stop the powerful running game of Oliver Springs and limit turnovers while also hitting some deep shots down the field, all while having limited penalties. Oliver Springs has got to control the line of scrimmage. They're bigger. They're stronger. They've got more depth on the line of scrimmage. They got to win in the running game and play really good coverage in defense.
Again, we'd like to thank OEB Law. OEB makes a car wreck case easy for you. From the moment you call or contact them, they start working on your case 24/7, collecting your data, hearing your side of the story, opening a claim with the insurance company, and giving you needed advice. They can now even handle most of the paperwork electronically to help expedite and make it more convenient for you. When you trust them with your case, they make it as simple and as easy as possible so you can focus on recovering from your accident. So when they say, we come to you, they mean it. OEB Law, go to reckontoacheck.com, call 865-546-1111 to see what they can do for you as we get ready for this football game to get underway. It's exciting.
It really is. Let's see what Oliver Springs' kickoff approach is here versus Midway. Last week they kept kicking it short, didn't want to kick it too deep to Cofield. Let's see if they've changed that up here a little bit.
So our kickoffs are sponsored by 4th District Roane County Commissioner Jerry White. That's actually our touchdowns tonight will be sponsored by Jerry White. Kickoff sponsored by Davis Funeral Home with 2 locations, one in Harriman, one in Wartburg. Call Rob or Preston Davis.
Take a look at the ball on the 40-yard line. It is on the ground, so anticipate a short kick.
And this is what they did last week against Coalfield, and it's taken at the 30-yard line and brought up to the 40, down to about the 43-yard line right in front of us. It's easy to see. It's Declan Brewer on the return, a tight end for this team. So not a bad guy to have the ball in his hands if you're Midway.
No, and that's coaching right there. They identified that last week on film and made adjustments to their personnel to put somebody with some good hands in that area.
So we've got a Hammers 1st and 10, ball officially spotted at the 42-yard line, and we get to see this young man for the first time, Emmett Hegland, first time tonight, rather. Well, it's a low snap, and the ball is on the ground already. Tried picking it up off the ground and scooping it forward to his running back, Ty Mason, and that went wrong from the very beginning, and it never got better.
No, it didn't lose too much there, so got to regroup, calm down, and try again.
Ball looks to be spotted between the 38 and the 39. So that should bring up, let's call it 2nd and 14. Hegland again in the backfield with Mason. And will hand the ball off, and Mason has nowhere to go. Dropped all the way back at the 31-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 21.
Looked like a little RPO there. Decided to hand the ball off and picked up nothing on the play. Great job by the Oliver Springs defense.
Yeah, we see on this Congressman Chuck Fleischman replay, do you think Hegland just made the wrong decision there?
Not really, because there was pressure coming off the edge as well. He didn't really have a choice, so hand the ball off.
So Midway, on its first drive of this game, is in a pretty big hole.
Oliver Springs staying in the 3-man front.
So now 5 wide, empty set for Hegland. Gets the snap, steps up in the pocket, and will tuck and run, and maybe picks up a yard before he's smothered. 4th down, Midway will have to punt.
Oliver Springs defensive line doing a really good job of shedding blocks and getting off of the hands, able to put some pressure on the quarterback.
Stepping into the game for Midway to punt this football away is Seth Gordon.
Now, something to keep an eye on in cold weather. Cold weather really affects your long snappers more than about anybody. So let's see if how this long snapper responds.
And I think that's spot on. We've seen some bad snaps tonight. And Tyler Bridges is going to let this one go. It will roll dead at the 30-yard line of Oliver Springs, and that's where the Bobcats will have a Hammers 1st and 10. Not a bad punt.
No. Low snap. Luckily, Oliver Springs didn't have any pressure on, so the punter was able to compose himself and get the punt away. Change the field position.
So you said the big beefy linemen don't wear sleeves. Should the center wear sleeves since the cold weather affects the snaps so much?
Actually, their long snapper is a skill position player.
Oh, okay. Well,
get back across the line of scrimmage. When you're a defensive lineman and you jump off sides like that, if you get back before the ball's moved, is not a penalty.
So this Hammers 1st and 10 quickly turns into a Hammers 1st and 5 as Midway encroaches on the play.
And if I'm Midway, I am stacking this box, and I'm run first defense right here.
Zach Elliott, the quarterback, handoff up the middle. Not much there for Gavin Hill.
Seth Brackett, the big junior linebacker coming in, meeting him in the hole.
So a pickup of 1 will make it 2nd and 4 as we see on this Chuck Fleischman replay. Wow.
Just a great job. Very good fundamental tackle by number 51.
Yeah, that's what a tackle is supposed to look like.
So, Midway coming out with a 5-man front.
And this time, Elliott hands off. And trying to get to the outside, nothing to do it. And that was Hill again.
Is flowing to the football really well, and the main reason for that, Aaron, is because they have 5 men on the line of scrimmage there, defensive linemen. So the offensive linemen cannot get to the second level of the linebackers. It leaves them free to run and make tackles.
That's why I have you around. You explain that so well. Now you just got to figure out why you have me around. Elliott in the backfield, 3rd and 6. And Midway jumps again, and I see you. I see you shaking. You are not happy about that.
No. As a defensive line coach, I'm peeling my eyeballs back on that. You know, One thing that's driving me crazy is you see here on the replay, when you jump off sides, if the offensive line doesn't move and they don't snap the ball, you can get back across the line of scrimmage. Reset. They will not call the penalty. Don't hang out in the area.
Yeah. All right, so that makes it a 3rd and 2 for Elliott. Now we've got a stoppage and play as Oliver Springs wants a timeout on this big 3rd down. So they're going to talk about, see what they're going to do with 8:28 left to go in the first quarter here at Midway.
OEB Law is excited to be a part of this year's football season. School spirit is at an all-time high. OEB Law is proud to give back and support our community. Come cheer on these great teams with us. And remember, if you've been injured or need legal help, OEB Law will be there for you. So visit wreckintoacheck.com or give us a call, 865-546-1111, and let OEB Law turn your wreck into a check.
The finale for us, the season finale. Oliver Springs has the ball, a big 3rd down, 3rd and 2.
Now, if I'm Oliver Springs, and I'm going to go on a hard count here, see if I can't get them to move again.
They don't. It's Elliott on a quarterback keeper, and he didn't get it.
And
the ball
down.
came free.
That looks like.
And Midway's got it.
Or is he going to say he was down by contact?
They'll talk about it. Well, yeah, they're going to talk about it. Hang on, Coach Treadway. So Mr. Wyatt's going to come over and explain the situation.
I don't think it's going Coach Treadway's way.
Yeah, I don't think so. So we have the benefit of replay, so let's watch it. Elliott. Ooh. Yeah, that's hard to tell exactly when it comes out.
Either way, really good defense by the Midway Greenway.
Excellent defense.
Excellent. It was close.
It was really close.
Anyway, Oliver Springs coming out in a tight formation here.
Wait, are they running 3rd down again? They're replaying 3rd down. And Hill breaks free on the left side, and Oliver Springs is going to have a 1st down as Hill crosses midfield and gets down to the Midway 49-yard line.
Was there a penalty?
I didn't see a penalty. I think if they can't determine if there was a fumble on the play, can they replay the down?
No, I think maybe the guy forgot to turn to 4th down or something.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, anyway.
Unknown.
We've got a Hammers 1st and 10
First
regardless.
time I've seen that.
Elliott, 2 guys in the backfield. Takes a snap, hand off. This time is going to go to Nation, and Brandon Nation powers forward to the 45-yard line. Pick up a 4 will bring up 2nd and 6. And we've got a late flag that comes in.
See what that is, but number 2 of Oliver Springs, Gavin Hill, did a really good job coming in and getting a block.
Wow, okay, so this is a personal foul on Midway. So the green wave is going downstream.
What was one of the keys to the game for Midway? Limited penalties.
Oh.
Yeah,
Midway player you saw there on the replay just kind of doinked him in the head. Not very smart. Hammers 1st and 10. Elliott sends a man in motion, and getting the jet sweep is Tyler Bridges. And we've got another flag as Bridges heads to the end zone. Touchdown, Oliver Springs. But it's probably coming back.
I'll tell you, though, Bridges has got some speed at 127 pounds.
Yeah, that's a hold on Oliver Springs.
Better be able to run.
Yeah, and that's why they put him back to return punts.
Oh, yeah, he's fast now.
So from the spot of the foul, looks like it is a couple yards up from the 1st down, the original 1st down. That will spot the ball at the 39-yard line.
Pretty good play call there by Oliver Springs. The Midway safety kind of got lost in transition there. I guarantee you Oliver Springs will come back to that play.
So it's a 1st and 17 now for Oliver Springs. And look at Midway just packing that line. Elliott's not attempted to pass yet, but we've got a bunch formation to the left. And he's going to tuck it and run. That's the play where he might have fumbled. And Elliott brings it up to the 35-yard line.
Still about 5 yards short of the original line of scrimmage.
Yep.
They really liked that 4 wide stacked on one side of the field there. They ran that last week against Cofield, and I believe they ran about 4 to 5 different play variations out of that same formation. I guarantee you Midway has scoped that out. Let's see if they've changed up anything out of those formations.
2nd and 14, Elliott with another bunch formation to the right. Hands off to Nation. Nation breaks it free up the middle. Gets across the 20, down to the 15-yard line. Another Hammers 1st and 10 on a great run by Brandon Nation.
He has really good field vision. And a big testament of that is because he plays linebacker. He kind of knows where flow's going to be, and he takes advantage of it.
You see a lot of flip-flopping there between linebackers and running backs. A lot of times they're built the same way. They can play the same position.
I don't know if you remember a guy by the name of Al Wilson.
There you go.
Played at University of Tennessee, one of the greatest linebackers in SEC history. A lot of people don't realize that he was an all-state, like a 5-star running back in high school. And John Chavis made a living off of running backs switching to the linebacker position.
Elliott on the Hammers 1st and 10 is going to keep it. This time going to the right as that bunch formation was to the left, and gets a very decent gain there on 1st down. So that's one of the reasons why you line up in that formation. You run it to the left a few times, and that sets up the ability to run to the right.
One of the problems with the Midway defense is when you stack that line of scrimmage the way that you are 8 to 9 players, if he does squeak by them, he's picking up a huge gain.
We'll give Elliott 7 on that play, brings up 2nd and a long 3. And again, that bunch formation sends Gavin Hill in motion, and Hill gets the jet sweep, and he is wrapped up and tackled again.
Seth Brackett again. He is a fine-looking linebacker for the Midway Green Wave. Does a really good job. He's lucky that he didn't overflow there. He's got to break down a little bit earlier, but overall, really good job. Good secure tackle.
That looked exactly like the tackle he made in the very first play of the game for Oliver Springs. On Hill. It looked the exact same to me. Great play. No gain on the play will bring up 3rd and a long 3. This time, Elliott goes back to his 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 2 backs in the backfield. Fakes the handoff to Nation. Hands off to Hill. Breaks the plane. Does he? Does he break the plane?
Calling him short.
No. Ooh, boy.
Real short. Right on.
They put that right on the goal line. Man, I thought he got in. And let's look at this Chuck Fleischman replay. Great run by Hill. Look at that cutback.
Yeah. Midway's got it to break down.
Ooh.
Great run by the Oliver Springs Bobcats.
Yeah. He scored. I'm just going to say it. We have the benefit of replay. Okay, I'm not trashing anybody. The officials have a really hard job. He did get in, though. All right, so same formation, 2 wideouts to the right this time. And the handoff goes to Nation this time, and he's in. It's a Jerry White touchdown, Oliver Springs.
Easy play call. Oliver Springs is bigger and stronger up front, so that is a call that I would definitely go back to. You see the push by the big offensive lineman. I believe Oliver Springs has 8 players over 250 pounds.
So Jacob Heilman enters the game to attempt this extra point. It's a high snap. It is down and wide right. again, snapping problems. So what you said, cold weather makes a difference, and so far we've seen it make a difference in this game today. 3:34 left to play in this first quarter. Oliver Springs strike first. The Bobcats lead at 6-0.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
Forest, Oliver Springs leads over Midway 6-0 with 3:34 left to go in this first quarter as we get ready for our Davis Funeral Home kickoff. As it's Ty Lamance, Davis Funeral Home with 2 locations in Wartburg and Harriman. And then here's that kick. Just kind of rolls straight down the field, and it's picked up. And coming back the other direction with it, looks like Seth Gordon.
We got flags on the play.
And we got flags, right there where that tackle was made. And this, is this extracurricular activity again? Because if it is, that's not a good sign for the rest of this football game. No, it's a hold. Going against Midway, that'll back the Green Wave up 10 yards. And that's big because they would have had really good field position to start this drive.
Yeah, penalties really stifle drives. And you've got, in a close ball game, penalties make a huge difference. You cannot beat yourself. You're playing a good team. You can't be playing yourself as well.
Hammers 1st and 10 for Midway. And that scoring drive, 9 plays, 48 yards, took 6:33 off the clock. Took a lot off the clock. Here's a handoff, and wow, pile drive. That was Ty Mason driven down to the turf as we welcome Tim Elrod onto our broadcast. You know, I hate saying goodbye to my good buddy James Gibson, and I know he hates saying goodbye to me too. But you know what? I'm really excited every week when we get to talk to you. So
James does a great call, no doubt about it. I enjoy listening to you all talk back and forth, and we've got a great ball game here tonight, don't we?
We certainly do. This is your first experience here in Midway. What do you think about this place?
South of the river, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's awesome. It's
woo,
wow.
Emmett Hagelin.
He should have caught that. He probably should have caught that.
Yeah, Hagelin trying to hit his wide receiver, and that time it was Caleb Goodman. That's his favorite target to go to, as we see on the Chuck Fleischman replay. Hagelin's got a heck of an arm.
Yeah, he looks strong out there. That is a well-thrown ball. Oliver Springs is playing very aggressively right now, but, Midway, I just feel like they want to be a power team, and they don't need to get in a rush right now. I think they've got the line, it looks like, to do it, but Oliver Springs is just playing really aggressively right now.
Now, you're a really big high school football fan, and I know you have been for years, as Hagelin is sacked. Brought down on the play by Oliver Springs' Brady Jackson, and that will bring up 4th down, and Midway's going to have to punt this football away.
Yeah, Oliver Springs has played explosive ball all year, really, if you think about it. They've had some explosive plays. They know how to win. Some things haven't went their way, but Midway is strong. They've been consistent all year in their play, so it makes for a good seeding matchup tonight.
Yeah, speaking of explosive, Tyler Bridges back deep to receive this kickoff, this punt, and this is going to go out of bounds after a really good Midway roll. And it looks like Oliver Springs will have possession with the Hammers 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line of the Bobcats. So what I was saying was, you're a really big high school football fan. You have been for years, and I know you follow all this stuff very closely, but how about this scenario tonight? Oliver Springs wins this, they're going to be your 2 seed. If Midway wins this, they're going to be your 2 seed. But if Midway loses this, they're going to be your 4 seed.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that way, I guess, considering everything that's happened this year, and I guess it makes sense because things just have been really off this year. But,
yeah, you got that right.
To say the least. But things are always looking better and looking up, and I think we're going to have a good playoff season.
I do too. So that bunch formation to the left, and Elliott gets it to that playmaker that we were just talking about on a reverse. Flags are everywhere, however.
Oh, come
as there's
on.
a pickup of a couple of yards. That's Bridges on that little reverse.
That was a straight-up pancake on that block. Everybody's seen it. That they didn't need to throw that flag. That kid was playing ball.
There's 2 flags, though. There's one back there, and then there was one around here. And our producer, Brad Jones, says he saw a crackback block. We'll see.
Well, that's,
personal foul. That's exactly what it was.
That was a pancake block. That wasn't a crackback block. He just put him on his back.
Let's see if we can see it on your screen. Boom.
I think he was on his side. I mean, he could have had his head around. It was a tough call. I'm sure the officials got it. They made the call.
This is going to bring up 1st and a mile. Midway's going to have to get this thing to Decatur. I'm sorry, Oliver Springs is. Elliott drops back to pass, and his first pass of the game is overshot and out of bounds.
Well, at least Oliver Springs is willing to throw that ball out there. They're not, I think they know they have to mix it up. The more they run it, the more they pack the line, the more negative plays you're going to get like that. And,
Let's do some math here. The ball is on the 20. The line to make is the 49, which means it is 2nd and 29 for Oliver Springs after that costly penalty. Elliott sends a man in motion. That's Gavin Hill, and Hill does get the handoff. Tries to find some running room around the outside. Gets a little bit. Not much there, though, so it'll bring up 3rd and very long.
Well, they have plenty of room to work. Like you said, you've got to go on down the road to get to that 1st down, and they're going to have to maybe put the ball in the air this time again. So, I just wonder if Midway's pressure is going to force him out and just force him to run up the middle. Something like that. Some busted play is going to happen.
Yeah, maybe a draw play. I gotta say, I'm kind of disappointed. This is the last time I'm going to talk to you this year.
Well, I've enjoyed it. Teaming up with you guys at BBB12 has been an absolute privilege and a great time. And I know that my whole staff has enjoyed it. Everybody who's got to come out. Well, there's the busted play. Now let's see what we got. Nope.
A great tackle. Well, almost a great tackle, but did enough to slow him down. And Elliott is brought down after a short gain. Now Oliver Springs is going to have to punt. And I believe that will be the final play of the first quarter. We'll see. But yeah, it's been a wonderful season. It's been a COVID season, so it's been crazy, and we've all had to have our head on a swivel, and it's been all over the place. But one thing that's been consistent is OEB Law and BBB TV Channel 12 bringing these games on Friday nights.
Right. We're in it for the community. A lot of people, we're fortunate enough that a lot of people hire us and ask us to take care of some of their business, and we try to do a good job at it. We do a good job at it, and we're happy to give back to the community. So, we're there for them, and I know that if they need anything, they'll call us.
And we're big fans of yours and what you're able to do for the community. A $1,000 check went to the home team every single week this year, and you do that on Rivalry Thursday as well. And it means a lot to the community. It means a lot to the fans to be able to watch these games and take these in. And I know that I don't want to speak for Brad, but I can say that I don't think that would be possible if you weren't on board with us.
Well, I'm happy to do it and love supporting this region and all the kids. It's all about making memories. When BBB 12 comes to town, it should be something that we pack the house out and get behind these communities and support these kids. I think next year will be completely different than this year. I think things will hopefully be back to normal. We'll see. It'll be a change of pace next year. It'll be fresh and exciting, and everybody will be into it. So I'm looking forward to next year already.
Tim Elrod, OEB Law, thank you so much for your contributions all season long, and look forward to working with you in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, and we'll see you next year.
See you next year. Tim Elrod, OEB Law. As we get set for this punt, it's Tyler Mance, and that is a beauty. And it is fielded cleanly at the 44-yard line. And that's Seth Gordon on the return. So I know that you were watching keenly while that was going on. Did anything stand out to you?
All right, there we go. Yeah, just some pretty decent football going on out here. It's very evenly matched across the board, except in the trenches. I'd give the edge to Oliver Springs so far.
Yeah.
But in the skill positions, I really like Midway's.
And we get a second look at Hegland. Very talented quarterback. 3 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left. And he gives it to his running back, Ty Mason. Great juke move to pick up 4 yards.
He threw that R1 move in there. I tell you what, that was impressive.
Yeah, that was exactly how the computer makes it look when you do it on a PlayStation.
I think it surprised him a little bit.
Let's look at this Chuck Flashman replay.
You go, whoop! he bounced back from 2 Oliver Springs players.
That's incredible. Now, Oliver Springs thought the ball came out, and it did, but
looked like because
he was rolled
down.
Yeah.
Trips to the top side of the field.
And Seth Gordon in the backfield this time with Hegland. And this is a keeper all the way, and Hegland gets it up to the 46-yard line before he's brought down, and that will bring up 3rd and about 4.
Hunter Atkins, the big senior, 5'9", 180 pounds, coming in good, getting a good tackle.
Man, I couldn't really see what was going on live when that happened. I was trying to follow it, but looking at that Chuck Flashman replay, Hegland knew that he didn't have anywhere else to go, so he dove forward and turned his body like he was trying to jump into a room where the doors were closing in. And here's Hegland's pass. It is complete.
Now, that is a really good pitch and catch by the quarterback and the wide receiver. As soon as the wide receiver broke out of his route, the ball was there. That lets me know Hegland is for real. Good timing route.
And that's Caleb Goodman, and I know you're high on that guy.
Yeah, he's a very talented wide receiver. Someone I was looking to sort of have a breakout game in the Harriman game. And really, Harriman kind of double covered him the entire game and took him sort of out of the equation. So see what happens tonight with him.
So Hammers 1st and 10 for Hegland and crew, and Hegland quickly gets it out, and a tackle's quickly made. That pass is complete to Gordon. Not much there, though.
Missed block by the wide receiver, which is what blew up the play. It takes every man doing his job to get a positive game.
That's something I can really appreciate about football, too, because there are 11 guys out there on a team, and every single one of them has to do their job.
Yeah, and if you don't, it's disaster.
Football's hard.
It is a team sport.
It is. 2 wideouts either side this time for Hegland. Rolls to his left. He's looking downfield and dumps it short, and that pass is just a little bit short, trying to get it to Caleb Goodman. And that falls incomplete, so it'll be 3rd and about 10.
Left his hand kind of funny. Let's see.
Cold weather?
Yeah, I think he just put a little too much, tried to put too much touch on it.
I was outside in the cold today, and again, I wasn't wearing long sleeves. And I was on my phone, and I was texting, and I realized how stiff my fingers were.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what that looked like to me. Hegland drops back to pass, looking, dumps it over the middle, and that pass is complete. Goes to Declan Brewer, and Brewer is down at the 34-yard line. That's a pickup of about 5. We'll bring up 4th and 5, and I think Midway's probably in a position where they're going to go for this one.
Good little under route. Brandon Nation trying to strip the ball for Oliver Springs. He's a really good linebacker prospect for the Oliver Springs Bobcats. I believe he's setting at close to 80 tackles on the season. Very, very good vision at the linebacker position.
Really good football player all around.
All around, yep.
So now, empty set for Hegland. Hard count.
He's an athlete. Watch a quarterback draw here.
And Coach Ron Treadway is going to have to call a timeout. So they started with the hard count, first, and now they will draw up a play to see what they want to do on this fourth down, as Oliver Springs leads it with 8:37 left to go in the first half.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
Back at Midway for your OEB Law Game of the Week. It will be 4th and 5 for the Green Wave on Oliver Springs' side of the field.
Now, Oliver Springs is going to come out and do what they do. They're going to stay in that 3-man front and have some very talented defensive backs in the game. I'm sure we're going to see Midway probably put the ball in the air. Let's see. 10 personnel.
And this time Midway is going to have Gordon in the backfield with Hegland. Sends a man in motion. That's Snow. And Hegland looking, under pressure, steps up in the pocket, tucks it and runs. Knows the line he's got to get to. He's fighting for it.
It's close.
I think he got down to the 26, which would be a Hammers 1st and 10.
First down.
And that's it. Man,
Good
Hegland,
job.
Look at how dirty Hegland is already as a quarterback.
He's improvising, and that's what it takes to win football games. Very good quarterback for Midway.
Very talented.
Something that goes unappreciated for him is his athletic ability. He can really tuck it and run it. He's got 10 touchdowns on the season rushing, which is a lot for a quarterback that has thrown for almost 3,000 yards.
Yeah, very talented player. Just a junior, as with a handoff this time. Wow, Gordon's going nowhere.
Big Matthew Johnson, big senior, 5'9", 250 pounds.
And that's where you're talking about Oliver Springs has the advantage on the line.
Again, they've got 8 players over 250, and we don't have sizes on Midway, but just by the eye test, they might have 3.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
Big difference.
As you see on this replay. Oof. Matthew Johnson, a senior on this team. So again, 2 wideouts either side for Hegland. Hegland going to throw a fade pattern. And his receiver
that
falls down.
Jumped up about 2 inches and caught his foot and made him fall.
Had Jackson Snow, running down the sideline.
I mean, wide
Look
open.
at that. Oh, my gosh.
A little bit of contact there.
Almost hit the OEB Law sign. That right there, man. That.
See the push by the linebacker?
Yep.
Just enough. Good job by the linebacker.
Hegland on 3rd down steps up in the pocket again. And he's going to go.
Ooh.
Picks up about 5 yards, and he's thrown out of bounds.
Brandon Nation coming in with a hard hit. You don't like seeing your quarterback take a lot of hits like that this early in a ball game, but you're in it to win it.
Yeah, a lot on the line tonight. That 2 seed is a very big deal. And if you watch on this Chuck Flash and replay, Hegland starts pointing, and he clears out the way. That was a great job right there by his running back, Ty Mason. Mason brought his defender towards the middle of the field, which opened up the sideline for him. So now 4th and 6 as Hegland sends 3 wideouts to his left, 2 to his right. Hegland looks over the middle. He's got a man there, and it's dropped. Oh, by Goodman.
Hegland has a really good deep ball. He's got to get a little more power on the short routes.
Wow.
That's the second low ball he's thrown to a wide open wide receiver.
Yeah.
Short route.
Threw it low and behind Goodman, and Goodman did everything he could to catch that ball except catch the ball.
Now, part of that could be the big defensive lineman who's standing 6 foot tall across the defensive line with their hands up. That could be causing the quarterback to have a little problem on the short routes.
So that brings up a Hammers 1st and 10. So going back the other way, here's Oliver Springs. Elliott, handoff, looks like Hill. And Hill crosses the 35 down to the 36-yard line. Will bring up 2nd and long.
The Midway linebackers have got to flow to the football and stay at the back hip of the running backs. You got to stop the overflow because the cutback has killed you tonight.
So a pickup of, let's give him 3 and call it 2nd and 7. Elliott, 2 backs in the backfield with him. And this time the handoff goes to Heilman. And Heilman gets really close to that first down marker. And they're going to give it to him. Moves the sticks, brings up a Hammers 1st and 10. Let's look at this Chuck Fleischman replay. Watch the end of this play. Bloop.
Yeah, 51 is a dandy football player for the Midway Green Wave. Seth Brackett, we've called his name several times tonight.
Yeah.
And he is always around the football.
He had that late push and then brought his hand down.
Yeah.
Tried to pick him up. And Midway bringing some pressure, but it doesn't matter because running right by them is, who is that for Oliver Springs? That's the quarterback Elliott on the keeper. And Elliott gets up to the 41-yard line. Great pickup on first down. Will bring up 2nd and 3.
The defensive line for Midway has got to shed blocks. They're absorbing blocks, and you just can't do that. You got to shed the block and try to make a play on the football.
Clock running. 4.5 left to go in this first half. Elliott with Nation in the backfield with him this time. 2 wideouts either side. Man in motion is Hill. And they fake the jet sweep to Hill and give it to Nation. Nation has the first down and more. Still on his feet, gets up to midfield.
And the quarterback, Emmett Hedgeland there, going on a little ride. Nation drug him a good 4 or 5 yards. You see here?
Yeah. I tell you, I love single A football because there's a lot of passion in it, but I also hate the fact that you've got a guy out there as talented as Hegland
he has to play defense.
Yeah.
He's such a good athlete that Midway just can't afford to have him on the sidelines.
In on a lot of tackles, this time bringing pressure, but the other way is where Hill goes over the right side.
Another tackle for Seth Brackett. He is quickly running up the stats.
Hill gets 4 yards on the carry, and Oliver Springs will have it 2nd and 6 in Midway territory.
After the success of the Oliver Springs running game, Midway's kind of transitioned to a 4-man front, bringing in a little extra linebacker, try to help out in the passing game and the cutbacks, and not much success so far.
Now, Oliver Springs' first scoring drive took over 6 minutes off the clock. They are milking this clock this time, too, as here's Hill with a big run. And he's got a 1st and 10. And Brackett in there again. Brackett and Hill, it's like they're the poles on a magnet.
Well, I tell you, to be honest with you, Aaron, Nation and Seth Brackett are 2 really good prospects at the linebacker position here in Rome County.
Speaking of Nation, he's in the backfield with Elliott. Also Hill back there. And Hill gets the handoff again, and he's met behind the line of scrimmage and tackled.
Big number 72, Harley Ferguson, the senior defensive lineman.
Let's see, a loss of 2, maybe 3. Let's call it 2.5. We'll bring up 2nd and a long 12. And that's the thing about Hill. Hill is a very talented, shifty running back. So, but if you can get paws on him, he's tackleable. And here's Hill trying to get him around the left side, and again brought down before he reaches the original line of scrimmage. And we've got a timeout. Oliver Springs wants to take a timeout and talk about what they're doing as we go under 2 minutes left to play in this first half, and the Bobcats leading 6-0.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And welcome back to the Emerald Forest, where the Midway Green Wave defending that home turf against the Oliver Springs Bobcats. However, Oz has the lead 6-0 and the ball in Midway territory as time is winding down in this first half. 3rd and 13 is what Coach Larry Green's team faces.
Watch the hard count here.
Yeah, Midway bringing a lot of pressure. That bunch formation to the left, but handoff goes to Hill to the right. Hill breaks the tackle, gets across the 30, across the 25, across the 20, and runs out of bounds. There's a flag at the 40-yard line, though, and that is normally an indication of a hold. And that would be a huge penalty against Oliver Springs.
It really is, but Oliver Springs needs to come back to that to take advantage of the overflow of the Midway defense. The counter plays have a lot of success if you're playing teams that have some really talented linebackers.
Let's watch Mr. Whitehat here. That's exactly what it is. It's a hold. And that penalty took place at the 39-yard line, so behind the line of scrimmage. And so the ball will be spotted at the 49. The line to gain is the 25. So it is 3rd and 24 for Oliver Springs.
Good math skills, Aaron.
Well, you know.
University of Tennessee.
I went to Wartburg.
Yeah, that's that Wartburg education.
I went to Wartburg, yeah. I had, let's be honest here. I had Kelly Foster as a teacher.
Yeah, dandy teacher.
Yeah.
Mr.
So here's Elliott in the shotgun position, and another counterplay. This time goes to Hill, and Hill breaks it free up the left sideline, but will be short of the first down as he reaches the original line of scrimmage. So picks up 12 on the play, but that'll make it 4th and 10. Oliver Springs not in any kind of hurry. Minute and a half left to go in this first half.
Huge pickup. If I'm Oliver Springs, I'm very confident in my running game right here. Stick with it.
Now, there's no reason not to go for
not in this situation.
Forward on 4th down.
No.
But
now,
again, you don't have to be in a hurry.
We was in 5A, and they had a dandy kicker. Hey.
Yeah. So Elliott sends 2 wideouts to either side. Takes the shotgun snap. 5-step drop. Looking downfield across the middle, and that pass is incomplete. And that's a turnover on downs. And I'll be interested to see a replay here.
Pretty close. Let's see. Wide receivers turning in. Ball should have already been in his hands. Yeah, the longer you hold that ball across the middle, the higher the percentage is that's going to be an interception.
Yep. The receiver ran into a defender there. Now, Hagelin, however, I guarantee you Hagelin can run a 1-minute offense pretty well. So let's see. 2 wide receivers either side. Hagelin takes a snap, quickly gets it out to the right, and got to get out of bounds. And that's Tucker Basham.
Good pitch and catch. You see the arm strength on him. If he can set those feet and make those little crossing route completions, we're talking about probably a 6-6 ball game.
And Basham does not get out of bounds. The clock continues to run. Almost 30 seconds left to go in this half.
Big mistake.
Hagelin finally gets the snap off. Quickly gets it to his wideout, who is very quickly form tackled.
By Tyler Mance, 6'3", 240 pounds of him.
No, I mean, being tackled by him probably wouldn't bother you, but that would break me in half. Got a Hammers 1st and 10 now with 27 seconds left. Midway at midfield. Hagelin.
Check down.
3-step drop, steps up in the pocket, and he's gobbled up but breaks free. Goes to his left, he's got a man wide open there, and the pass is complete. And
Mason was shocked he caught it.
Yeah, Mason almost dropped that, which would have been huge. With 14 seconds left, it's another Hammers 1st and 10. Watch this Chuck Flashman replay. Breaks free, keeps his eyes upfield, and look at Mason bobble it. Well, that would have been a huge drop.
Great job holding on to the football by Mason. His dad just left up here, the principal Midway, and was giving him a hard time for wearing those long sleeves. I'd say that put a smile on his face there.
Yeah, and we always like to thank all of our sponsors. Definitely thankful tonight for the 4th District Roane County Commissioner, Jerry White, for being a part of this broadcast tonight. You'll hear his name anytime a team gets into the end zone. And Midway trying to get there with 14 seconds left. The Green Wave still have 2 timeouts left, and they'll probably have to use them. Or they've got 1 timeout after that one. They'll have to use it. Same formation for Midway.
Let's see if we can find a 50-50 ball somewhere.
Hagelin. Oh!
He was bobbling it. Oh, he caught a catch.
Wow, okay. So that pass is complete to Jackson Snow. Boy, I thought he was bobbling it too. Let's look at this Chuck Flashman replay.
See if he secures the catch here.
Definitely not.
That's
definitely not. Dauver Springs pleading a case, and they've got a good one to plead. But again, we have the benefit of replay. So the ball spotted at the 26-yard line. We've got 10 seconds left. So
took 4 seconds off the clock.
You've really got 2 plays here. Do you go? Am I wrong? You've got 2 plays here?
No, you definitely got 2 plays here. It only took 4 seconds off there. I'm looking deep.
Yeah, I think I'd go for the end zone here. And Hagelin has a man, and Goodman drops that one too. Whew. So Midway looking at a 4th down.
See here, good route. Running across the middle of the field, wide open. Just couldn't hang on to it. He'll regret that one in the film session tomorrow.
Yeah.
Special purchases always offer surprise savings. You never know what you'll find next at Hammers.
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
XL Bowman & Son, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
One to the left, and he gives it to his running back.
Football is back. And OEB Law is excited for a season full of big hits, perfect plays, and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OEB Law will come to your defense and tackle any obstacles blocking you from scoring the full and fair settlement. Call OEB Law 865-546-1111 and turn your wreck into a check.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Here is Helen Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low prices.
Race on down!
Hi, I'm Ray Varner, and we've got the vehicles you need to make the most of this season.
Whether you're exploring the great outdoors or cheering on your favorite team, let's take your fall to the next level. In a 2017 F-150 Crew Cab XLT 4x4, $38,990. 2020 Ford Escape Titanium All-Wheel Drive, $29,990. 2017 Subaru Outback Limited, $23,899. At Ray Varner Ford in Clinton, we are your East Tennessee Ford dealership. Come and see us today. Shop RayVarnerFord.com.
And welcome back to Midway. Getting the firefighters involved in the halftime entertainment here south of the river. So talk to...
Oh, Sparky's breaking it down out there, ain't he?
Yeah.
Got his mask on, though.
I talked to Elrod of OEB Law about this being his first experience here south of the river at Midway. This is your first experience here, and at least in this capacity. What's your experience with it? What do you think?
This is just a classic community down here, and it's a good country environment, and it's a beautiful area. And these people take a lot of pride in their athletics, all the way with say, softball, women's basketball, baseball, football, basketball. It's always a fight down here when you come to Midway and play a football game. But I love this place.
Yeah, and we've got some halftime stats for you. If you look at these stats, I don't think anything is really surprising to me. 6 first downs for Oliver Springs, 4 for Midway. Rushing yards, just 3 for Midway, but I really didn't expect Midway to have that big of a game running the football against Oliver Springs. Oliver Springs, however, has 105. Now, the exact opposite, what we thought would happen. Midway has 54 passing yards, which I almost thought that would be higher than that, but Oliver Springs doesn't have any. So your total yards, 105 for Oliver Springs, 57 for Midway. Penalties about even, 4 for 35 and 3 for 35. No turnovers for either team. Time of possession, though. Oliver Springs 14-14 and Midway 9-46.
Too many drop balls by the Midway wide receivers. You're talking a potential 30-yard difference there in the passing game with potentially another touchdown that was dropped by Goodman. So, Midway's got some stuff to work on at halftime, and I guarantee they're going to do it because they got a very good coach. And they're going to come out and make some good halftime adjustments and see if they can take advantage of the Oliver Springs defense.
Now, we'll talk about this in just a moment, but this is a huge night for playoffs and playoff implications, and we do have some scores of interest for you that we care about. Gatlinburg-Pittman is leading at halftime over Kingston 7-0, so that is a very close game.
Oh, that's a fight over there, and both teams are trying to get the win, and I know Kingston is dying to get that number 2 spot behind Alcoa.
Yeah.
That'd be the highest finish for Kingston in a while.
And that game taking place up the road just north of us in Kingston, so Gatlinburg-Pittman had to make that trip. And so that's got to help Kingston out some.
One thing about it is Gatlinburg-Pittman, I guarantee, is used to the little bit of colder weather than Kingston is.
Well, you probably got that right. So I definitely want to mention this score because Sunbright is up in the second quarter over Unaka 16-6. Now, why does that matter? One of these teams is likely going to be playing Unaka. as Unaka gets the 2 seed up there in that Region 1A. Well, you look, Sunbright didn't even come close to making the playoffs in this region right here. So one of these teams has a really good chance of going on the road against that Unaka team and winning that football game.
I mean, it's pretty safe to say that I think the region's going to get a sweep over the region, but I don't know. I mean, there's some talent up there. Cloudland's
tough.
But
I would say there's a really good chance that this region gets the sweep.
A really good chance. If I was putting money on it, I would bet on it.
Yeah, because if I'm Cloudland, I don't want to play either of the teams you could potentially play. It's either going to be this Midway team or it's going to be Greenback.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to play either.
I wouldn't want to play either, especially Greenback, because let's just be honest, they're ticked off. 2020 has not been a good year for the folks at Greenback.
No.
And you know what that community is about up there. So they're going to surround that football team, invest whatever they need to invest into to get that back on the tracks.
Yeah, it's week 11. There's a lot of craziness going on. A lot of crazy scores so far. Gibbs is up on Central 9-7. That is a huge game.
It really is.
With big playoff implications.
Yeah, it really is. Gibbs has been up and down the last few years.
Yeah.
I think they're still running that triple option over there, and it's hard to stop. And it's giving Central fits.
Now, Powell is up on South Doyle 28-14. That's not as surprising.
Still.
But that's a
still
good margin.
28 points on South Doyle at half there is still pretty impressive.
Yeah, I agree.
But here's one that you're about to talk about that is very surprising to me.
Bearden is up on Science Hill at the half 14-7. So you remember we told you about this crazy scenario that we thought was going to happen where you had this 3-way tie and then you had to go to the overall records, which would have put Farragut at a disadvantage because Farragut's probably going to finish the season. They're up pretty big on Jefferson County right now. Farragut's probably going to finish season 7-3, which would put them back in that tiebreaker. However, if Bearden beats Science Hill, that changes
everything.
Yeah, that changes everything. And I'm pretty sure that would catapult Farragut into a tiebreaker with Dobbins Bennett.
Yeah, and you know Bulldog Nation over at Bearden's licking their chops right now.
Yeah.
Thinking, hey, well, we might have something in here.
And it's crazy because Farragut and Bearden hate each other, but you know Farragut is like, let's go Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Like it's really hard for them to say, but you know they're saying it right now. Another big game with playoff implications. Win and you're in. It's Pigeon Forge, Scott High, and it's the Tigers leading over the Highlanders right now, 7-0 at the half. So that game taking place in Scott County in Huntsville, that's a really good game too.
Yeah, and what an atmosphere up there in Highlander Nation. That's a very intimidating place to travel to. All the way from Pigeon Forge. So, yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on that one. I'm excited for the Scott County Highlanders. I'd like to see them pull one out here.
This game is in the third quarter. Maryville leads over Heritage 11-10.
What? I tell you, because Heritage is usually a program that loses players. And this is something a lot of people don't know, is Heritage has won a lot of middle school championships in football. The problem is when they get in high school, they go to Alcoa and Maryville or William Blount. And Heritage usually is struggling. So for them to be 10-11 in the third quarter, that is a huge testament to the Heritage, I think it's Highlanders over there.
To be fair, Maryville is a second-half football team, and they have been all season long. They were down in the first half to Alcoa. They were in a top ball game with McMinn County. They were in a top ball game earlier in the season against another one of their region opponents. I can't remember who it was, but Maryville is a second-half football team, so I kind of do expect this lead to expand a little bit.
These two teams hate each other. Heritage is tired of losing to Maryville, and I guarantee you that's got some hard hitting in it.
So this one, too, is really surprising to me. Red Bank leads over Loudon 13-0.
It is surprising. Red Bank, a traditional powerhouse out of Chattanooga, and over the last 10, 15 years, you've seen that talent sort of transition to the Knoxville area, and Chattanooga has struggled in the last 15 years, honestly, which Red Bank used to have, about every year they were putting out a big D1 football player. And so seeing them struggle is kind of shocking, but they're up big on Loudon right now.
Yeah. So, and those are scores that we'll continue to watch. And, of course, after we wrap up here, you'll go to the 5-star preps Friday Night Scoreboard show, and they'll have all this information for you, and they'll be able to follow it up and tell you where people are landing in the playoffs. So a lot to watch. This game right here, as halftime is winding down. We got about 2 minutes left. Oliver Springs fired up. They're all ready to go play. Midway on the field stretching. They're about ready to go too. But what do you want to see in the second half out of this Midway football team?
I want to see more consistent blocking. Oliver Springs has not done a lot of special stuff defensively to confuse the offensive line. It's just mismatches. Oliver Springs is a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, and Midway's having a hard time of holding those blocks. Oliver Springs has had pressure with 3-man rushes. And if that's the case for Midway moving forward in this second half, they're going to have some struggles.
What do you want to see out of Oliver Springs?
I want to see Oliver Springs just continue to run that football, keep dominating that line of scrimmage, show those big guys up front, hey, we're going to go for it in any kind of fourth and shorts because we believe in you. We believe that you're going to dominate the line of scrimmage, get to the second level, and give our running back some open running lanes. So Oliver Springs, all they have got to do is play clean football and keep doing what you're doing, and it's going to be hard for Midway to overcome that.
I tell you what I want to see out of both of these teams, and this is obvious, and it goes unsaid, but I want to see all these players stay healthy tonight because I want to see every one of these players and both of these teams in the playoffs because you could have a sweep, and then in your second round you've got these region teams playing again, and we've seen some great matchups out of this region this year. So
there's nothing better than Roane County football this time of year right now.
And getting ready for your Davis Funeral Home kickoff. And this time kicking it off is Sierra Cowell. You see, the last few years you've seen some female kickers in the area. And you'll see that here.
I was going to say there's no football on the field.
You got to have a football to kick it.
Yeah.
You have to.
Kind of responsibility of the kicker there.
Yeah. I mean, the game's called football. You got to have a football to play it.
Yep. And
kind of obvious.
Main part of that word football is foot.
That's right.
Football, the kicking game is a huge part of the game. Let's see what she does here.
Cowell with our Davis Funeral Home kickoff kicks it short, a little bouncer. And Oliver Springs is able to secure that, but
really good short kick there.
Yeah, I agree. You had that little bit of mystery. You didn't know if he was going to be able to cleanly field it or not, but he did. So now Oliver Springs will have a Hammers 1st and 10 at the Bobcat 45-yard line. And that was Tyler Mance. Not a bad guy to have up there. You know, like, the times we've seen Oliver Springs, we've kind of been further away from the field than we are tonight. I don't think I realized how big that guy was. Like, he towers over people, but being this close,
yeah.
That's a big guy.
240 pounds. You talk about a mismatch.
Yeah, lined up right on this play, and it is Elliott on the keeper, and Zach Elliott gets up close to midfield, and I believe that's where they're going to mark him down. That's a 5-yard pickup on first down.
Too much. You had a missed tackle there. And he was able to take advantage of it and pick up about 5 yards on the play. You see here, number 3 just doesn't quite wrap up enough. Big pickup on an easy play.
Yeah. And Elliott's not afraid to run the football either. And Midway jumps off sides again.
Yeah, that's frustrating as a coach. You have got to address that immediately. There's no excuse. The ball is in front of your face.
Yeah. And that's an automatic Hammers 1st and 10. And
Watch
now the Bobcats are in Midway territory.
The football, not the lineman.
Elliott with a fresh set of downs. Handoff goes to Hill. Hill over left center. Gets up to about the 38-yard line with some hard running. That's a good pickup of 7.
It is, and something I'm noticing with this defensive line of Midway is they are reacting to the offensive line. Their eyes are on the offensive lineman, so they're not moving until the offensive lineman is moving, and that is difficult to do as a defensive lineman. That puts you behind the 8 ball.
2nd and 3 for the Bobcats. Elliott with Nation and Hill in the backfield. And here's a handoff on a jet sweep running from right to left up to the 40. Gets his first down before he's run out of bounds. And again, that's Bridges for Oliver Springs.
Big first down.
$127.
Yeah, he's got some wheels though. I tell you, they match him up on Goodman for Midway, and he's done a really good job in the defensive backfield as well for Oliver Springs. A job that doesn't get a lot of praise throughout a game.
And going to the right this time is Nation, breaks free into the second part of that Midway defense, and you've got touchdown Brandon Nation. That's a Jerry White touchdown. Jerry White, the 4th District Roane County Commissioner.
Oliver Springs opened a huge hole for Nation to run through.
Well, and they emptied this side of the field and sent all the wideouts to that side, which caused misdirection. That counterplay you're talking about has been very successful for Oliver Springs tonight.
The overflow for Midway has cost them all night. The cutbacks, all that, it's overflow.
So now Oliver Springs, having missed that first extra point, will go for 2. Elliott looks like he's going to keep it, but pulls up and throws the 2-point conversion good. And that is Bridges again, wide open. So Oliver Springs completes the 2-point conversion. Now here, watch. Here's the Chuck Fleischman replay of that play. Nation goes to his right. There aren't many defenders there. Breaks through, and then just wins the foot race to the end zone. And then here's that play, just that you fake a handoff. It looks like Elliott's going to keep it before he pops up and throws it into the end zone. Oliver Springs is up 14-0.
Football is back. And OEB Law is excited for a season full of big hits, perfect plays, and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OEB Law will come to your defense and tackle any obstacles blocking you from scoring a full and fair settlement. Call OEB Law 865-546-1111 and turn your wreck into a check.
Evans Mortuary has been
Off, and this one, wow, that was kicked really far for the ball lying on the ground by Tyler Mance, and taking the kick deep was Seth Gordon. And Gordon gets it up to close to the 40-yard line, and that's where Midway is going to take over. That last drive, 5 plays, covered 50 yards, and took 1:52 off the clock.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good adjustments by Oliver Springs coming out of halftime. I don't expect to see anything much different for Oliver Springs defensively. Maybe just a couple tweaks here and there in coverage. But they like what they do, and they stick with it.
2 wideouts to the left for Hagelin,
Like
1 to the right.
3.
Here's a snap. Hagelin, 3-step drop.
And who else?
That's that guy you were talking about, Mr. Bridges.
The speedster. And I tell you, he is taking Goodman out of this ball game. He is a lightning-fast cornerback.
Yeah. That time Bridges burnt the bridge between Hagelin and Goodman. You like that? He didn't like that. Brad didn't like that joke. I don't know. I thought it was a good one. All right, so 2nd and 10. And this time lining up in the pistol set.
Let's see if we can get a little play action and try to draw those linebackers up a little bit.
It's Mason with a handoff. Mason runs into his lineman. Man, it looked like if he would have just stepped about 6 inches to the left, he would have picked up a positive gain. Do you think that's a miscommunication? Do you think he thought his hole was going to be somewhere else?
It's hard to say there. It is hard to say there. I want to see a little bit more push out of the Midway offensive line. When you got 5-on-3, you should be able to double team and get a little bit of push. But that big defensive line of Oliver Springs is hard to move around.
So 3rd and 10. After a no gain on 2nd down. 3 wideouts to the left for Heglin now.
Press coverage.
Rolls to his left, looks downfield, lets it go over the head of his wide receiver, trying to hit Basham that time. And it's 4th and 10. Midway is going to punt.
Just too high. Good route. Knew where the sticks was. Just a little bit overthrown.
Gosh, he's got such beautiful touch on that football. That was a great pass, just a little bit high.
It's a game of inches, Aaron.
It is. Back in punt formation for Midway is Seth Gordon. And back deep to receive for Oliver Springs is Bridges.
And I definitely wouldn't be kicking to him.
Midway hasn't all night. That might change this time, though. Bridges does call for the fair catch and make it at the 31-yard line, and that's where Oliver Springs will take over with a Hammers 1st and 10. So Oliver Springs took the first possession of this second half straight down the field and scored. And they'll have an opportunity to do that again.
Now let's see if Midway makes any adjustments in the defensive backfield to try to give some support with the cutbacks and the counter plays. You got to have some safety help.
3 wideouts to the right side of the field for Oliver Springs. Elliott takes a snap. It's a quarterback keeper all the way. Found some running room, running to his left, picks up about 4. We'll bring up 2nd and 6. And that's something we've seen Oliver Springs do the last couple of weeks.
And if I'm Oliver Springs, I'm going to run and run and run until they stop it. I mean, you have been positive yardage on basically every run play that you run. So keep at it. Make them stop you.
Went over 100 yards rushing in that first half, did Oliver Springs. You've got a 2-score lead right now. No reason in the world to not keep the clock going.
Oliver Springs with about 2-inch splits.
Elliott this time hands off. And short gain on the play, probably 3.
Looked like, was that Nation?
Yes, that was Nation.
He looked like Nation might have missed the hole. They pulled the left guard, and Nation replaced the guard, which never works because there's a defensive lineman sitting right there.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't sound like good strategy to me.
No, just the opposite side there.
He was able to pick up about 3 yards, though, which brings up 3rd and about 3.
And that's a testament to Nation, I tell you. 20 personnel.
Elliott, handoff, a counter play to Hill. Hill gets his first down and a couple more.
Running right there. Picks up the first down. Hill is a very talented athlete as well for Oliver Springs. Sometimes he gets, you mentioned Nation so much, but Hill has, I think, better defensive stats and offensive stats than Nation.
I don't know about defensive.
He does. He's got more tackles than Nation.
He does have more offensive for certain, though, I can tell you. That's a good combo to have in a backfield if you're Zach Elliott.
Yeah, because you know they're going to definitely lay a good block for you. Pick up some tough yardage like right there. 72 did a really good job breaking through the line of scrimmage for Midway again. That's the second time I've seen him in the backfield.
Yeah, that's Harley Ferguson getting back there and stopping Nation before he can get to the line of scrimmage. So now we'll have a 2nd and 11 situation. Clock's still running, though. You got 6:30 to go in the third quarter. And Nation's going to have to come out of the game. He'll be replaced by Heilman,
who is also a good athlete in his own respect.
Yeah. Elliott sends a man in motion. That's Bridges. Fakes the handoff to him. Looks downfield, going deep, and it's a wounded duck that falls short to Tyler Mance. Had the one-on-one coverage he wanted, but didn't get the pass off that he wanted. Just didn't leave his hand the right way.
No, and not that big of a matchup difference there for Oliver Springs as Deacon Brewer was there, the big defensive back, tight end, senior. Very good defensive back for Midway. And just a really short ball by the Oliver Springs Bobcats.
But that's pretty much the first shot downfield that we've seen. Oliver
Now
Springs
you've
take.
got a little bit more favorable matchup over here with the speedster.
Yeah, 3 wideouts to the right for Elliott, 1 man in the backfield. Elliott, about
Screen,
a 5-step
screen,
drop
screen.
to set up the screen, and it does get set up to Hill. Hill picks up about 4 and is brought down, which will bring up 4th and 6, a few yards shy of midfield.
A lot of passing out of Oliver Springs here, which is surprising with all the success that they've had running the football.
The clock is running, and Oliver Springs has a decision to make. Tyler Mance
Looks
does
like
set
they're
up
gonna-
in punt formation, and the
Punt's
punt
good.
unit comes in.
Midway not sending anybody back, which is a okay, now they're reacting.
Yeah, Coach Treadway wanted them to send somebody
Uh-oh,
back.
It's going to roll.
Yeah. Well, you had that right.
And
There's a flag on the
laundry
play.
field.
And the ball is down at the 10-yard line. So that's a really nice punt of about 43 yards.
Yeah, that's a big mistake for Midway. You have got to see that they are punting that football and get a man down to return the football.
And-
You catch
yeah.
it, call fair catch. You just can't let those balls roll like that.
And Coach Treadway was screaming on the sideline, pointing for somebody to get back there. They just recognized it too late.
Yeah, it was 4th down.
Yeah.
There's no excuses for that.
And Oliver Springs is called for a hold. And so because Oliver Springs is called for a hold, that helps Midway out.
Yes. Now let's see if Midway can get something going offensively here. They've been close several times, and they have the talent to do it. Now, Oliver Springs, I was talking to Wartburg legend Denny Richardson, and he was talking about how Larry Green has ran this 3-4 defense for 100 years, as long as Denny has known him. And I'd say that's a safe assumption because they do not change what they are doing defensively. They believe in what they do, and they do it well.
Coach Treadway is talking to the officials, and I'm wondering if he wants them to re-kick.
I would.
Yeah. And so instead of getting the ball at the 10-yard line after the penalty, you would get it at the 20. But this time he can better prepare for a punt and call for a fair catch and possibly get a return or better field position than the 20. And so that's what they're going to do. And this time Midway will have a man deep, and that will be Seth Gordon. So Tyler Mance gets back into punt formation.
A lot of talking on the field by the referees, which I like. Good communication by the referees, so everyone's on the same page. And
Yeah.
they are also working out their kinks, getting ready for the playoffs.
That's right. Yeah, it's difficult for them too, because once you start getting in the playoffs, you get these officials from different associations have to travel to a different association, so that you're covering different teams, and so they do a lot of traveling too.
And what a hard job for the referees in 2020. They had obviously a referee shortage coming into 2020, and then with no scrimmages, no jamborees, nothing for the referees to actually get on the field and get some repetitions in. So it's been a tough year for the referees as well. And what a job they do. And if anybody's out there listening and you want a side gig, please get on TSSAA.org and check out those qualifications for the referees and put your name in, because there is an extreme shortage, and these guys, they get a pretty good little check for Friday nights.
And the ones that should do that are the ones that are most critical.
Yes, absolutely.
Go out and prove that you can do it better.
Well, help the game, because they're a major need. So if you're out there and you want to give back to high school football, or just be a part of the game, or be able to possibly even teach these young high school players how to play the game properly.
Yeah.
Get involved, guys. Get involved because we need it. And if we do not have adequate referees, we don't have high school football.
So the 10-yard penalty was marked off, and Lamance will get another shot to punt this one away. 2 people back for Midway this time. And this is a similar punt, but Midway, yeah, Coach Treadway made definitely the right call as that ball is down at the 40-yard line. So you were going to have the ball at the 10.
That's 20 yards difference.
And then you get the penalty, so you would have had it at the 20. But then, yeah, after that re-kick, you've got the ball at the 40. That's is a big difference.
That was a major mistake by the Midway Green Wave of not putting anybody back on punt return. I cannot stand seeing that in high school football.
Emmett Hegland brings his team back onto the field. He's got 3 wideouts to his left on this Hammers 1st and 10.
Goodman has double coverage.
And Hegland drops back and runs a quarterback draw, picks up 5, picks up 10, and is waylaid out of bounds. That's got to be a flag.
Wow. Don't see a penalty.
I don't either. I don't know how that wasn't, though.
He must have just been on the line. Let's see what the replay shows there.
Yeah, show it to me, Chuck. I got to see this one. Ooh.
Yeah, normally that's a penalty.
So there's a timeout for the measurement as the ball spotted at the 50-yard line, and that's, to me, that looks like a really obvious 1st and 10, but that's to me. I tell you what, though, I love the swagger of Hegland. He got up after that huge hit, and as soon as he starts walking back onto the field, he's pointing, that's a 1st down. You know, I mean, that's, you got to love that.
Yeah, he's a very tough kid. I mean, for somebody to throw for almost 3,000 passing yards down here at Midway, that tells you about all you need to know about the young man. He is a great athlete and quarterback and leader for this Midway Greenway football team.
Now, Coach Green right now is having a conversation with the officials, and he doesn't look happy about something. Do you have any idea maybe what he could be unhappy about right now?
He's probably just distracting the referee talking about something else so he ain't focusing on that missed call that he had on that sideline. Because I tell you, that was a big missed penalty there for Midway.
So now the officials okay, so they make the 1st down call. They call the teams back onto the field. I'm not sure what that break was all about. But it is a Hammers 1st and 10. So Midway gets the chains moving on that big run by Hegland. 3 wideouts to the left again. And here's Hegland over the middle. That pass is complete. And immediately tackled is Declan Brewer.
What a tough catch by Brewer. He held on to that football and took a big hit. Very tough play by number 7 of Green Wave.
And Brandon Nation is there.
Tough play.
Nation was fired up. Jacob Heilman also there for that tackle. And it looks like this time Midway is going to come out 3 wide to the left again, staying in that same formation, single wide out to the right. And in the backfield with him is Ty Mason. 3-step drop, quickly gets it out to his receiver, and breaking it upfield is Snow.
Really good job of Snow eluding the defender and picking up a really good gain. You see here, easy pitch and catch, makes the first guy miss, picks up a good 1st down.
Yeah. Midway keeping those chains moving, down 14-0.
I tell you, if Midway would come out and run just a little bit of play action, try to get those defensive backs to come up on the line of scrimmage just a little bit more, it'll open up something down the field.
This time the 3 wideouts are to the right. Hegland rolls that way, looking downfield. He will pass it at the very last second to Snow, and Snow has another 14-yard gain, and that's another Hammers 1st and 10.
Very close to being across that line of scrimmage when he let loose of that football.
With 7:02 left in the third quarter, Kingston and Gatlinburg-Pittman are tied at 7.
Got to fight. Got to fight there in Kingston. I tell you, those two teams are really trying to get a win over each other.
That's a big opportunity to get a home
absolutely.
playoff game for both of those teams.
And Kingston's needing it. They have not hosted a playoff in a while.
It's been over 20 years. And here is Snow again on the catch to the 15, to the 10, makes some moves, gets close to the 5-yard line.
Great pickup.
In the third quarter with 7:30 left to play, Greenback leads over Oakdale 19-0. So Coach J.R. Voiles' team is hanging in there. But, yeah, look at this move on this Chuck Fleischman replay. Another score coming in. Red Bank leads over Loudon 13-0 after 3. So with a Hammers first and goal, here's Hagelin. Rolls to his right, looking, he's got a man wide open, and the pass is incomplete by Snow.
Snow has been huge on this drive, and unfortunately the ball went right through his hands in the end zone.
That was a for certain touchdown. And now, Oliver Springs wants the timeout to talk about this one. They hear Midway knocking at the door. The question is, are they going to answer it? It's Oliver Springs leading 14-0 with 3:18 left to play in the third.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Second goal, Midway. Ball at the 8-yard line of the Green Wave. Here's Hagelin. Drops back. Under pressure. Steps up in his pocket. He's going to run for it. Tries to dive in.
Touchdown.
Gets across the goal line. It's a Jerry White touchdown, Midway.
Powered his way in there, Aaron.
Emmett Hegland.
Showing his toughness.
Looked kind of like Emmett Smith on that play. As you see, Hegland just sees all that green in front of him.
Tackle, and watch this right here. Powers his way into the end zone.
Not going to be denied. Sierra Cowell on to attempt the extra point, and that is good. Midway cuts the lead in half, 14-7, with 3:09 left to play in the third quarter at Midway.
Football is back. And OEB Law is excited for a season full of big hits, perfect plays, and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OEB Law will come to your defense and tackle any obstacles blocking you from scoring a full and fair settlement. Call OEB Law 865-546-1111 and turn your wreck into a check.
Back at the Emerald Forest, Midway has cut this lead 14-7, and they will get ready for this Davis Funeral Home kickoff to Oliver Springs. This game is not over.
No,
you know, Oliver Springs came out and scored right out of halftime, and you thought, but
got to have a response, and they responded well. The quarterback has led them down the field and had some really good receptions by Jackson Snow, the senior wide receiver, and Midway looked good.
Davis Funeral Home with 2 locations in Wartburg and Harriman. Call Preston or Rob Davis. Go to davisfuneralhomes.com for more information as well. Here's Cowell set to kick, and this one is a high spinner, short high spinner, landed directly on the 30-yard line, but we've got a stoppage in play. And we've got a false start on Midway. So that'll back Ron Treadway's team up 5 yards. And they'll do it again. So a little pooch kick there that time.
And not a bad decision there, really.
Back deep to receive for Oliver Springs is the quarterback, Zach Elliott.
And they probably feel like he's one of their better decision makers. And Midway running on a player late.
So here's Cowell, going to try this thing again. And this one is a pooch that goes to the right side, and it's bobbled, but finally taken in by Cameron Stockton.
Midway's kicker did a really good job of placing that football where she wanted it.
Do they have a soccer program down here?
I'm not sure, but I would say that's probably so.
She kicks like a girl.
I wonder if Midway has a soccer program down here. So they do have soccer down here, and I'm pretty sure she would be on that team.
Yeah, I'd say so. All right, and with a carry, Midway is fired up.
Dominated up front. Now, that's what we've been waiting to see from the defensive linemen of Midway. Shed some blocks and wreak some havoc in the backfield.
Yeah, and you're getting that tackle on Brandon Nation, by the way, the power back for this Oliver Springs football team. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
And Midway stacking the line of scrimmage.
Oh, almost jumped again, but did not. Here's Elliott on a keeper, and Elliott is stacked up behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Oliver Springs has got to recognize the defense of Midway. They only had 3 players backed off of the line of scrimmage. You'd like to see an audible or some sort of a outside run there.
The pendulum of momentum has swung back into Midway's direction, as now Gatlinburg-Pittman leads over Kingston 14-7. And we'll continue to keep you updated on that one as scores come in. A big 3rd down for this Midway defense here.
Oliver Springs hustling to the line of scrimmage.
3 wideouts to the right side for Elliott. Elliott hands off Nation. Nation going from right to left. Makes one man miss, but not a second. And Midway is fired up. 4th and 8. Look at this Chuck Fleischman replay.
Oliver Springs pulled 2 guards. It didn't matter.
And that was a great tackle that time by Cyrus True.
Now let's see if Seth Gordon here catches this ball or lets it bounce.
Hegland also goes back deep late, and
fair catch.
Gordon calls for the fair catch and makes it. Whew, that made me nervous. So Midway takes over with the Hammers 1st and 10 with 56 seconds left in this 3rd quarter, trailing 14-7. You see the steam coming off the players on the field on your screen there.
That lets you know that it is football season. Football weather right there.
And shout out to BBB TV Channel 12 for bringing you definition enough for you to be able to see that.
Yeah, no kidding.
And here's Hegland with another keeper, and this time not much there, maybe 3 yards. Stopped at the 30-yard line. We'll give him 4, 2nd and 6.
I was handing out food Wednesday for farms to families. We served about 500 people in Morgan County, and it was in a torrential downpour. You would not believe how many people came up and spoke to me about BBB 12 TV and the opportunities those guys had.
Look at this by Hegland.
And just dropped it.
Oh, and that's Caleb Goodman again. And Goodman's pleading his case. They're going to say he was out of bounds. He doesn't think he was.
Let's see.
And that's a low snap. Yeah. But look at this. looks like Archie Manning out there.
Too close to call over there.
Golly. I tell you what, these two teams haven't made it easy on these officials tonight.
No, they haven't.
3rd and 6 for Heglin. Heglin with 3 wideouts to his left.
Look for a rollout.
Ty Mason in the backfield. 3-step drop. Hits Mason on a little swing pass, and Mason
Good job leading him there on that.
Yeah. However, it's a pickup of 2 as the third quarter expires, and Midway will have to come out to begin the fourth quarter in punt formation. So Midway with a lot of momentum, but stalls on this drive. Alder Springs leads it after 3, 14-7 in your OEB Law Game of the Week.
Here is Helen Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases, all at Hammer's famous low prices.
Race on down!
Welcome back into the OEB Law Game of the Week. I'm Aaron Harvey, joined by James Gibson. We've seen a fantastic game so far as Alder Springs leads over Midway 14-7. A second seed in the playoffs is on the line here. And OEB Law, as we see with the check presentation there, that's our guy Tim Elrod. And OEB Law donates $1,000 every single week for Rivalry Thursdays and our games. So for our games alone, that's $11,000 that he's given out. With Rivalry Thursday, it's been the same thing. And that goes to the high school club or student that best exemplifies school spirit. We thank OEB Law so much for everything that they do in the community. So here in punt formation, and that's a really nice punt as Alder Springs doesn't have anybody back this time. And that ball rolls dead at the 22-yard line.
I'll never understand it, Aaron.
Wow.
I'll never understand it. You think coaches would see the lost yardages that happens with that and would make some adjustments, but it's far too common in high school football to do that.
So that punt takes 10 seconds off the clock. And that's a lot of yardage.
Yeah, I'll tell you, if I'm Midway's defensive coordinator, I'm smiling ear to ear, seeing that.
Alder Springs trying to hang on this Hammers 1st and 10. It's Elliott in the backfield with Brandon Nation. Elliott quickly rolls to his right, looks downfield. He's got a man streaking. That pass is broken up, incomplete, trying to find Tyler Bridges, but throws into double coverage. Midway covered that very well.
Not enough separation there by Bridges. Really good job in coverage by number 3 of Midway, Seth Gordon.
Yeah, and Heglin back there from a safety position as well. You know, Heglin's like, no, I do that. You don't do that on me. I do that on you.
Well, the safety position is similar to the quarterback position. You can see the whole field, and a lot of quarterbacks have a lot of success in single A and double A football playing the safety position, because they kind of know what's going on back there.
I tell you one I can think of right off the top of my head, that's Parker McKinney.
Yeah, Parker McKinney.
McKinney was an excellent safety.
Exactly.
And he's a starting quarterback for a college football team now. As here is Elliott. Elliott quickly gets it outside. That's Bridges. Bridges has it this time, and the speedster breaks a couple tackles. We'll have enough for the Hammers 1st and 10 before he's brought down.
And Mason just got a hand on him to bring him down.
Whew, he's dangerous.
He is. Watch this on this replay here. Watch the burst of speed that he displays here. And you'll see number 24 coming in on the play. Just barely gets a hand on him. But he's also 127 pounds, so it don't take a lot.
Yeah, that's true. But you got to get your hands on him if you're going to tackle him.
He's got bird bones. He can fly.
3 wideouts to the short side of the field for Alder Springs. Elliott takes the snap. Handoff goes to Nation. Up the middle. Nation dragging some guys. Picks up 2, maybe 3 yards. Well, he picked up more than I thought he did. They're going to give him 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. I guess that was where his forward progress was. Oliver Springs in no hurry at all, with success running the football. They've won the time of possession battle so far. Going to try to do that in this final quarter as well. Elliott, handoff. This time it goes to Hill, running from right to left, and Hill gets up close to the 40-yard line. He'll be a yard shy of that and 4 yards shy of the first down.
And that play was made by number 9, the right side defensive end there. You see him go outside and keep contained. Made the running back of Oliver Springs bounce it back inside, which allowed his teammates to make the tackle.
That's Tucker Basham.
Yep, Tucker will not get a stat on the stat sheet for that, but he's who made that play.
And again, Oliver Springs in no hurry whatsoever. They don't have play clocks here in Midway, so you got to do the old-fashioned thing if you're Zach Elliott. You got to look at the back judge and look for his hand signals. And now Oliver Springs is going to call a timeout and talk about what they're going to do. So Oliver Springs leads at 14-7, 9:36 left to play in the game.
Your grandmother's fine china, those trendy sneakers, your collection of hand-carved duck decoys. Auto Owners protects your home. Because, well, somebody should. That's simple human sense.
You sit yours here.
Ask Griffin Insurance Agency in Kingston if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Oh, now you do your job.
Back at Midway, Oliver Springs with the football, facing a 3rd and I want to call it a short 6, a long 5.
Things to keep an eye on: screen draw, hard count.
Let's call it instead a short 5, a long 4. And you're talking about a hard count. In the first quarter alone, Midway jumped off sides 3 times.
I tell you, I'd be going hard count continuously until they just proved that they've caught on, and then that helps your pass rush and everything. So.
Just throw one in there every
look at the
fourth
formation.
Play. So, again, and Oliver Springs has had a lot of success running to the other side of the field here. They've got 3 wideouts on the
jet sweep.
And the fake the jet sweep to Hill, and instead a pass. Are they going to give him the completion? They are. That goes to Bridges. Bridges would have been better off dropping that one. However, it did keep the clock moving, so you have that, but you lose 2 yards on the play, and Oliver Springs is going to have to punt.
And this would be a good situation here to try to get some pressure on the kicker. With 9:05 left.
That kicker is Tyler Mance. Fields the snap cleanly, lets this one go, and going back to calling for the the fair catch and not making it was Hegland, and that ball bounced right up into his belly.
It made me gasp like an old woman. Oh, heart attack. I felt for the coaches. I felt for him.
Yeah.
Because he's going to take a chewing. You have got to get away from that football if you are not going to catch it.
And that bounced off his face mask, and wow. And that would have been a huge mistake.
Oh, man, that's rare mistake by the quarterback there.
Yeah, so Hegland.
Low snap.
Back in the game, 3-step drop, steps up in the pocket. Flag flies as Hegland runs. Gets a decent gain of about 6 or 7 yards, but
looks like it might be negated by
a hold. I believe that's going to be a hold. And where that flag is thrown, it's thrown in the backfield. Let's see if we can see it. Yeah, you see it right there on the replay. That is well behind the line of scrimmage. So then you tack 10 yards onto that, and it's going to be 2nd and 20-something.
With 8:41 left to go. What was one of Midway's keys to winning this game? Limited penalties.
Got to have limited penalties. So that The line to make is the 44. The ball is spotted. Can we tell the yardage? Let's see. There's the 10. The ball is on the 17, and they got to make the 44. My word. Am I wrong? That's 27 yards, isn't it? Whew. Hagelin, low snap, sets up a wide receiver screen. It's complete to Goodman. Goodman finds a lot of running room, running up the right sideline, and he's tackled out of bounds at the 33-yard line. And, you know, just like that, it's second and very manageable. One play is all it took. And that's the first time I've seen a wide receiver screen out of Midway tonight.
And Bridges coming in, saving the touchdown, potential touchdown there.
So that makes it a 2nd and 11. Big difference.
Splitting that top wide receiver way out above the numbers. Looks like an audible, man-on-man coverage. He sees something he likes.
One-on-one, and almost making the catch is Goodman. There was some safety help over the top, but wow, I'm actually very shocked that Goodman still almost came up with that football, as we see on the Chuck Fleischman replay.
Ooh, hit him right in the hands. Excellent effort by Goodman.
Goodman played that football very well. However, he's had some uncharacteristic drops tonight.
You would consider that a drop. It hit him right in the hands.
That's a play that this Midway crowd has seen him make all season long. And now,
looks like a referee timeout.
So now you got 3rd and 11. Okay, now we're ready to go. 3rd and 11. Hagelin, 3 wideouts to his left, 1 to the short side. Ty Mason in the backfield. Hagelin drops back to pass. Now he's rolling to his left, and this has been a run all the way. Hagelin reaches out and makes the 40-yard line, but he needed the 44. And now Midway faces a 4th and 4. You're not in a position right now where you have to go for it here. You can punt this football away and feel comfortable with your defense. And I believe Ron Treadway is going to think about it, at least, as Midway calls a timeout. Oliver Springs still leads at 14-7. We'll see what they do when we get back on your OEB Law Game of the Week.
I am a Simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a Simplicity dealer.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Back at Midway, Coach Treadway has decided he will punt this football away. I mean, unless they fake it. It's Gordon back in punt formation. And again, Oliver Springs not sending anybody deep. Do you think they're concerned that maybe there's a fake? No, there's no fake, and that ball is able to roll dead at the 25-yard line. I guess if you're Coach Green, you figure if you muff it, that a turnover right there would just be crucial. But yeah. I mean, I know that your heart is pounding right now because you can't understand it.
No, that's too many yards you're losing. That stifles your offense. You know, that's 10 yards there that your offense is going to have to make up because of your decision. to not put anybody back there. So, you know, you're not doing your offense any favors by doing that. And I know anybody that's watching it that knows football, you're scratching your head there as well. But, hey, Oliver Springs is winning 14-7.
Hammers first and 10. Now we're going to be clock watching as with the handoff is Nation from right to left, and Nation is brought down. They're going to give him the 31, so a pickup of close to 2 yards.
Mason takes down Nation.
RB, the RB. Second and 8. And like I said, we're going to be clock watching now because Oliver Springs is going to run every second off of this thing if they can.
If I'm Oliver Springs, I'm continuing to run that football. Cutbacks and counters.
Pistol set as Nation lines up behind Elliott. And reverse goes to Bridges, and Midway was waiting for it. Seth Gordon.
Man, he was sitting there waiting and licking his chops. He played disciplined football back there. He kept his position, did his job, saved a big play.
Yeah. A loss of 5 will bring up 3rd and 13 for Oliver Springs as we've moved under 6 minutes to play.
It was a zoomed-in view on the replay there, but there was nobody over there. If he didn't make that play, he's still running.
Well, I don't know. That's Bridges. He probably finished running 5 seconds ago.
I'd like to know his 40 time.
Yeah.
And with a talented player like that, you know, you have to wonder why he's not catching punt returns.
Now, Oliver Springs wants to take a timeout and talk about what they're going to do on this 3rd and 13. So we'll find out when we get back. This is your OEB Law Game of the Week.
Evans Mortuary has been
serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
And back at Midway, a big 3rd and 13. Midway looking for a stop. Oliver Springs looking to take some more time off this clock with a 7-point lead. So here we are. And Oliver Springs is out of timeouts.
Which doesn't bother Coach Green at all.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now. It might later.
3rd and 13.
And this is a formation that Oliver Springs runs
most
of the time.
A little uncomfortable, 3rd and 13 for him.
So here's Elliott looking downfield. He's just going to let this one fly, and he's got Lamance out there. And that pass is incomplete, just out of bounds, but that was beautiful.
And they are livid on the sidelines of Oliver Springs, trying to make the argument that he was in bounds. I think it was a pretty good call.
Wow.
I like their aggressiveness now.
I do too.
Midway did a really good job on both wide receivers that was streaking down the field.
Yeah.
He was out. Just barely.
Very, very close.
Good job at number 35, though, to make it close. All right. Good kick. Fair catch. All right, now if he doesn't catch that ball right there on the 50, fair catch, that ball is rolling probably to the 30-yard line. That's a big difference. So if Oliver Springs earlier would have caught that punt, instead of letting it roll another 10, 15 yards, we might be in a different situation right there.
You know, it's interesting. An observation I made tonight, the ball's been on the 50-yard line a lot.
It really
Have you noticed that? That's weird.
Close ball game.
Yeah. And so now Midway, with 50 yards to go to possibly tie this thing up with 5 minutes left. Hagelin, low snap, looks, and he's sacked.
Wow, what a play by Cameron Stockton coming in with a big sack, the junior. 5'10", 173 pounds, came through in a hurry.
Yeah, I don't know how many people are going to get this reference, but have you played that cell phone game Among Us? Okay, so you're on this spaceship and you've got a mystery killer that's going around, and he can go through your vents, and like in a room, he can come through the vent. And anyway, that looked like he vented right there because he came out of nowhere. Somebody out there got that reference. I know they did. A low snap again for Hegland, and that pass is incomplete, trying that time to hit Basham.
And he is lucky that was not intercepted right there.
Man, I wonder how much these low snaps are possibly having an effect on the timing.
It throws everything off. If your quarterback has to bend down, guess what? His eyes is now on the ball. He cannot see what is going on down the field in coverage and looking at his wide receivers. It throws everything off.
And Midway's had issues with that all night. And you made the comment. It was funny that you said it because it's like it came on cue. You said cold weather affects the snapper. I didn't know that. So that I learned something tonight. But I think we've seen that a lot tonight. As here's Hegland looking upfield. He's got a man wide open, and that's intercepted by Ty Lamance. Lamance going back the other direction, tiptoeing the sideline, and finally out of bounds on Midway's side of the field. 2 flags on Oliver Springs' side of the field.
After the interception. Let's see here. What a job by Ty Lamance to keep his feet in bounds on that interception.
Hegland was trying to find his go-to guy, Goodman, threw it too high. And like you said, Lamance just able to have enough concentration to secure that interception. And you've got a crackback block on the interception return going against Oliver Springs. So that'll be a 15-yarder. But, yeah, Oliver Springs takes over. Huge. Watch this beautiful play. Now, wow. I thought Lamance stepped out watching it live, but I didn't see it there. So maybe he did a great job.
Athletic play by the big guy, 6'3", 240 pounds, getting the big interception, keeping his feet in bounds. Here's their favorite formation.
Yeah, a bunch set to the left. And the play goes to the right. It's Nation. Nation dragged down on the play. Great tackle.
Brady Snow in on the tackle.
So not much there, if anything. Ball spotted at the 30. So that will be for no gain. Look at this Chuck Fleischman replay.
Big number 77 stayed home. Got the tackle.
And now we've moved under 4 minutes to play. Clock continues to run. That same formation, you got 4 in a bunch on the left. Gavin Hill lined up in the backfield with Elliott. Hill will get the handoff running from right to left. Cuts it back towards the middle. Good pickup of about 9 yards will bring up 3rd and short.
Very close.
And look at that cutback by Hill. Made all the difference.
This is a huge 3rd down for the Midway Green Wave. They desperately need a stop here. Give their offense another opportunity to tie in this ball game.
Midway still has 2 timeouts. We'll have to keep that in mind. But again, we're clock watching this late in the game.
Midway needs to watch the football.
And the ball's on the ground. Elliott loses it, but scoops it back up.
What an opportunity for Midway here.
That's opportunistic for Midway while also simultaneously being disastrous for Oliver Springs.
Snap was just a little to the left. It threw him off.
And Midway elects to take a timeout here to stop the clock with 2:23 left to go in this game. The Green Wave going to get the ball back when we come back.
Here is Helen Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low prices. Race on down!
Really?
And welcome back to the OEB Law Game of the Week. Ty Lamance lined up in punt formation for Oliver Springs and back deep to receive for Midway. They've learned. They've got two back there now. And it's Hegland. And let's see who else they got back there. Hegland lets it bounce. And Oliver Springs downs it at about the 40. So pretty good field position for Midway here.
It is, and it should be the last drive of the ball game. So you want to see Midway come out firing the ball, play good football, execute, give yourself the best opportunity to win this ball game.
Now,
or to tie this ball game up.
Yeah, what do you see out of Oliver Springs here? Do you see that bend don't break defense?
The exact defense they've been running all year long.
So 3 wideouts to the right side of the field for Hegland on this Hammers 1st and 10. Hegland looking deep, can't find anybody, and he's going to be sacked, but there's a flag on the play, and that could be a face mask.
Looks like it. Let's see what he called. You want to see him throw that ball away, stop the clock.
Oh, no, he knew he was going to get his face mask held, so that's the only reason why
he's
he
a
didn't throw it
genie,
away.
ain't he?
Yeah. Personal foul, face mask. That's a 15-yarder. That's a big one.
Yeah, that's huge.
So 3 wideouts to the right side of the field for Hegland on this Hammers 1st. Hegland rolled out. And I agree with you, by the way. You got to get rid of it right there. Hegland's trying to do too much. But
I didn't see no face mask there.
I didn't either.
Big opportunity for Midway.
Yep. But look at where are they spotting this football. Oh, my goodness. That 15-yard penalty is going to move the football back to the 44 of Oliver Springs.
And Oliver Springs getting so much pressure with 3 defensive linemen. It's kind of shocking, really.
3 wideouts to Hegland's left. Low snap again. Hegland steps up in the pocket, hits it over the middle. That pass is complete.
Get down.
Up to the 35-yard line. And on the reception is Brewer.
And if you're Midway, you've got to hold on to the football high and tight. You cannot have a fumble here. 1:45 left in the ball game.
Pickup of 9 brings up 2nd and 1. Midway 35 yards away from potentially tying this game. And this is going to be a run all the way. Hegland gets up to the 29, maybe the 28. He'll have enough for the Hammers 1st and 10. And a low snap again.
Yeah, if I'm Hegland, I'm going to be grabbing the face mask of that center and going to try to get that fixed here. We got 1:18 left. We cannot have low snaps.
Clock running. Hegland, 2 wideouts either side. Another low snap. Hegland fires the pass. It's complete to Goodman, and Goodman, does he get out of bounds?
No, but that's should be 4 points.
Let's see. No, he doesn't get out of bounds. Clock's still running. There's Goodman. Ooh, man, you got to
get out of bounds.
You got to get out of bounds.
Get out of bounds. It happened to him in the first half as well.
Pickup of 8, 45 seconds left to play. Ty Mason in the backfield. Here's Hegland looking, under a lot of pressure, sacked. And the ball came out. Brandon Nation.
And I'll tell you that right now, Emmett Hegland felt that one. That was with purpose.
Yeah, you see him right there. He's slow getting up, and Oliver Springs has to use its final timeout. Midway has to use its final timeout.
They had 3 down linemen, and Nation just kind of stepped up in the pocket like in a spy position and made the quarterback pay. You had 5 on 4, and Oliver Springs won the ball.
31 seconds left. Midway now with no timeouts, and the Green Wave facing a 3rd and What's 5 maybe?
Ish. Maybe a little shorter than that.
Man, we knew that this one would really come down to the end.
Big number 54 coming out there. He's had a heck of a ball game, plugging that middle for the Oliver Springs Bobcats.
Okay, we're going to see a 3rd and 7. So Hegland lines up with 2 wide receivers to either side, drops back to pass, lets it go up the sideline, and the pass is incomplete. I think Midway wants a flag.
There was a flag.
And it's a pass interference on Oliver Springs.
Big break for Midway there. And a makeup call a little bit from the time before.
Wow.
Didn't see a lot of contact there. But they were battling hard.
All right, so on this Chuck Fleischman replay, there it goes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I definitely saw the contact there.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
I had an excited fan jumped in front of our cameraman.
So now Midway has the football at the 14-yard line.
This is what it's all about right here, guys.
Hegland takes a snap, 3-step drop, looking, steps up in the pocket, under a lot of pressure and sacked.
Golly, you got to hurry up.
Brandon Nation again.
Spike the ball. Hurry up. Spike the ball. Make sure everybody's set.
Hegland under center. Will snap the football. All right, so 10 seconds.
And you have
3rd down.
Possibly 2 more plays here.
It's 3rd and 17. I wouldn't think you would get the 1st down. I think you got 2 plays here. And
with 10 seconds left, you've potentially got 2 plays. If you can hit an out route, something, a smooth catch going out of bounds. But if you're nervous of a sack, you've got 1 opportunity here to throw it up.
Yeah.
Let's see what the offensive coordinator chooses.
I think you got to go to the end zone both times. Hegland rolls to his right, looking, goes across the middle, has got him in there and throws it, overthrows it, and that pass is incomplete. So with 4 seconds left, it's going to come down to this final play. So we see that's Jackson Snow he's trying to hit, and Snow was there. Boy, that was a tiny pocket he had to get into, though. Midway with no timeouts. Getting the play from the sideline.
Go trips to the top side of the field.
The play is in. 3 to his left, 1 to his right. Here it is. Hegland steps up under pressure, throws the underneath to Mason, and Mason drops it. That is your ball game. Oliver Springs wins and takes the 2nd seed in the playoffs and will have a home game next week.
What a turnaround for the Oliver Springs Bobcats for the 2020 season. Start off, 0-4?
Yeah.
And some major losses.
0-4. They won their next 4. Lost to Coalfield in a very tight game last week that came down to the end. Win this final one. Finish the season 5-5 with a 2nd seed in the playoffs.
Yep. What a way to win a ball game. And I tell you what, the Oliver Springs defensive line with that 3-man rush won all night long versus the Midway offensive lineman.
Man, I tell you what, if I'm Cloudland and I know that this Midway team is coming to play me next week, I'm nervous about it because you got a player like Hegland. If that's somebody that you don't normally see, that's somebody you don't want to see in the playoffs. So Oliver Springs gets the home game. They will face Cosby next week. Midway goes on the road. They will face Cloudland on the road.
And that's a dangerous matchup. You definitely wanted to win here tonight if you was Midway. But good game, 14-7. Had a lot of unlucky bounces. And Oliver Springs, what a way to win.
Yeah. So the other playoff seeds for Single A Region 2, you'll have Greenback gets the 3 seed. And so next week they'll go on the road and play Unaka. And so those are your matchups. Coalfield, of course, has a home game against Hancock County. That's a very favorable matchup.
That is. Poor old Hancock County's had some struggles, but hey, got probably one of the highest percentages of playoffs, making the playoffs of anybody in the state of Tennessee. So they're doing something right down there. I guess.
Who cares if it's by default?
Yeah, I know. We ain't going to talk about that, though. Only 4 teams.
So look at your final stats tonight. 10 first downs for both teams, 183 rushing yards for Oliver Springs, 44 for Midway, 127 passing, 2 for Oliver Springs. So look, your total yardage, 185 for Oliver Springs, 171 for Midway. 6 penalties for 57 yards on the Green Wave, 6 penalties for 78 yards on Oliver Springs. Time of possession, Oliver Springs won that. We expected them to. 26-52 to 21-08.
Yeah.
I mean, that shows you.
That shows you 7-14. You know, that's a close ball game. And Midway definitely does not need to hold their heads low. They have had an excellent season and played a very tough Oliver Springs Bobcat team right here to the end.
Yeah, this was a really fun game to watch. Man, this is our season finale, and that, sometimes you get duds when you get down to the end of the season, but this one was for something. This one meant something, and we got to be here for it. As you see Coach Ron Treadway passionately talking to his football team, he's telling them, hey, guys, listen, we're a good football team, and we've got something to play for still yet. We're going to go on the road. And we're going to face.
They've got a lot of corrections to make. They've got a lot of film review and a lot of coaching opportunities in film session for this Midway Green Wave football team. They got to get that offensive line figured out, and I'm sure they're going to do that before they go all the way to Cloudland.
Yeah, that's a rough trip.
It is. It really is. But I guarantee Coach Treadway is going to have his bunch fired up and ready to play.
Yeah, I do too.
Looking for a rematch.
Yeah, it's fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if this Region 2 goes and sweeps like we think, then you're going to have these 4 teams, Greenback, Oliver Springs, Midway, and Coalfield, in the second round of playoffs playing each other. And, buddy, that's going to be really fun to watch.
That's going to be huge for our area.
Yeah.
But Midway will have the best matchup in the playoffs in the first round versus Cloudland. I definitely think the other 3 matchups are going to be big wins for the Region 2. So I'm going to keep a very close eye on that Cloudland game next week or in the playoffs for Midway.
And by best matchup, let's clarify, you mean it's going to be the best game next
the best
week.
Game, absolutely. Yeah, the other games should
I would agree.
Major blowouts.
So I tell you what, let's take a break. And let's come back and try to get you some final scores before we send it to the Friday Night Scoreboard show. And we'll sign off for the final time this year, which I'm not looking forward to. But anyway, thanks for tuning in to your OEB Law Game of the Week. We'll be back.
OEB Law is excited to be a part of this year's football season. School spirit is at an all-time high. OEB Law is proud to give back and support our community. Come cheer on these great teams with us. And remember, if you've been injured or need legal help, OEB Law will be there for you. So visit wreckintoacheck.com or give us a call, 865-546-1111, and let OEB Law turn your wreck into a check.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And And the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
I am a simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a simplicity dealer.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Back at your OEB Law Game of the Week, Aaron Harvey, James Gibson along with you for a final time with your OEB Law Game of the Week. Again, want to say thank you to OEB Law for everything that they do in the community and for everything that they've done along with us this year, giving out $11,000 to the home teams that we have visited this season. And, man, that's such a big deal. And to think that Tim Elrod and OEB Law also does the same thing for Rivalry Thursday. I mean, that's a lot of money and a lot of ways to contribute.
Well, that $1,000 is going to go a long way down here south of the river to this Midway High School down here. So they need that $1,000 in a lot of ways, and that will go fund a lot of programs down here. That doesn't just go to the football team. That goes to the administrator, and he decides where that needs to go.
Yeah.
It's a special thing that OEB does for all these local schools in the area.
It is, and just a really quick summary of how the season went. You know, we didn't hear from Brad about, actually doing this season until, a couple weeks before the season started, because a lot was up in the air for him too. I mean, you think, like, he's got to get the schedule set, and he's got
all the unknowns.
You got to talk to these sponsors, and you got to say, hey, I don't know if we're gonna have a full season or not. Like, that's a really tough thing to say to people that are trying to spend money, and their businesses have been hurt by COVID too. It's hard for the sponsors to spend money, and so it was definitely a hectic year. I don't envy the position that any of these guys have been in all year.
I wish everybody watching could just see the work behind the scenes that Brad Jones, Chandler, and everyone else that they put in to make this happen, so that a lot of people can see the game that otherwise wouldn't be able to be here to see it.
Yeah.
So it's a public service that Brad Jones and OEB and everybody is offering. Because a lot of people wouldn't be able to see their loved ones play football.
Yeah, they got to put a lot of effort into it. But Brad calls me 2 weeks before the season, and he said, let's go. And I'm like, all right, I'll show up to the game.
Let's
no big deal, Hey, give me a T-shirt so that I can get into the gate. And, they won't try to make me pay. And that's it. And that's what we do, their contribution of it, though. And you know what? I'm just so thankful to be a part of it. And I wanted to get that part out of the way because it has been a nutty year. In fact, you weren't with us the first game of the season because
COVID.
You were waiting on the results of a COVID test.
And you did that one all by yourself.
I did. And so let's thank these sponsors, of course, OEB Law, Oak Ridge Utility District, Evans Mortuary. Thank you. Hammers, of course, sponsoring First Downs this year. Thank you, Hammers. S.L. Bowman & Sons. Ray Varner Ford. Harriman Utility Board. Davis Funeral Home, of course, sponsoring our kickoffs all year long. The City of Rockwood. Rockwood Natural Gas. Griffin Insurance Agency. Very thankful for them.
Guys, listen, if at all possible, go visit these sponsors. Let them know thank you for providing this service so that we can see our loved ones play. Drop in, visit those guys.
And definitely thank you tonight to Jerry White, 4th District Roane County Commissioner, for allowing us to be on the air here in Midway. And, of course, Chuck Fleischman sponsoring replays nearly all season long. Very thankful for Congressman Fleischman, who's served this area since 2010. So very quickly before we go, because I don't want to get off the air, but I know Brad wants me to because that means he can start packing his stuff up and get out of here. Let's run through some scores very, very quickly. Greenback defeats Oakdale tonight by a final score of 35-7. Meigs County defeats Wartburg 62-8. Ouch. Some that matter. Central's come back. They've taken the lead on Gibbs 21-9. Gatlinburg-Pittman, last we heard, up 14-7 over Kingston. That one's in the fourth quarter now. Powell up on South Doyle 42-30. Sevier County and Carter is a really good game, and that's one with playoff implications. Sevier County up 38-30. Sunbright beats Unaka tonight 38-28, and that's who Greenback will play.
It's a big win for the Sunbright Tigers.
It is, and I want to make this note that Brad pointed out because this is really funny. Unaka had to forfeit their football season and be on probation because they decided they didn't want to play the first round of the playoffs. They didn't want to play Greenback, really good Greenback team. And Unaka was winless, and no, we're not doing it. They didn't do it.
I think they had about 12 players, if I'm not mistaken.
They didn't want to go to Greenback and get their head beat in, and so now Greenback's the 3 seed, and they've got to travel to Unaka in the playoffs.
And let me tell you, now that's a long haul too. Up to the Unaka, I think Cowboys. I recruited a defensive lineman from there once upon a time. And what was it?
They're the Rangers.
The Rangers, okay. Yeah. And what I say, Cowboys?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
not much of a difference.
One more score I want to point out, and then we'll get off the air. I'll let you say your final goodbyes. Bearden beat Science Hill tonight 27-7.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That's high school football right there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, what an experience that I've had up here. It keeps me close to the game that I love, and thank you to Brad and OEB Law and all the sponsors and for keeping us involved in this. It's been a great experience for me personally. Had a lot of fun this year, and I'm glad to bring the game to a lot of people.
Guy that I work with, his name is Bobby Shelton. He used to play at Fulton, and me and him, we talk about high school football at work all the time. He's a big fan. One thing he always says to me, he says, "Aaron, you're my horse if you never win a race." And that's how I feel about you, buddy. You are my horse if you never win a race, and I hope that we get to do this until we're old men.
Yeah.
So
we are.
Well, older men, I guess. As Brad Jones shakes his hand, he's, "Oh God, shut up." But I've had a lot of fun, guys. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Jonathan McGuffin, Chris Bricky, our cameramen that do such a great job all season long as well. Chandler. Sitting here, Chandler Jones keeping stats for us
and security
and just supporting everything. And wow, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't want to get off the air. But let's go ahead and do it so that they can wrap everything up. It's been great. I hope you've enjoyed this season as much as I have. And right now, we will get prepared to send it back to the BBB TV Channel 12 studios for the Friday Night Scoreboard Show, brought to you by 5 Star Preps. So, for James Gibson, Brad Jones, the rest of the crew, so long, folks.